Meeting is called to order, Southampton Town Planning Board, Thursday, October 14th, 2025. The secretary will call the roll.
Chair LaFaro is absent. Vice Chair Finity.
Present.
The secretary is here. Board Member Mutu is absent. Board Member Neely.
Present.
Board Member Fulham.
Present.
Board Member Glazer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Very good. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do you have any minutes?
7:24.
7:24?
Yep.
Very good. Do we have a motion? Motion by Kate, second by Tom. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have 5. 2 absent. We're going to close the afternoon regular session, convene the afternoon work session. Claire, are we ready to go with your items? We'll do Stephen Perone. Item 1 on the work session.
Yeah, I'll invite them up.
Sure. Come on up.
I'll do a little background on this one.
Smitty, how are you?
Hi, I'm Joan McGivern from Toomey Latham. Basically,
Sit down up here.
You can come up to the table, that's fine. We have mics now. Thanks. Only got them.
I'm going to pass out the pre-submission report just so you have it as a reference.
Good.
Do you mind if I do like a little
Yeah,
background
that's
and
good.
then it'll probably be
Bring
easier.
us up to
you
speed.
know?
It's always easier.
But these are the plans that they're proposing. So just as reference, some background is that this was a pre-app report that was adopted in 2022. You have updated it. It's valid until I think the end of the month, I think, right? And the original proposal was to do a couple buffers on the property. And off the top of my head, I think it was 100 in the rear.
It's 100 on both of them. They wanted in 50
Yeah.
foot across.
50 on the rear, and then 100 along the east property line, and that was to protect the vegetation and to protect this kettle hole with the Prussians on the property. Yeah. So this is their proposal. They can talk to you about modifying the pre-app and probably more time. How you doing with the health department?
We are almost done with them.
Okay.
There were two separate septic systems on the house. Health department only had record of one.
Yeah.
We had to expose the other one.
Just identify
yourself for the
yourself.
record.
Yeah.
What?
Just identify yourself for the record.
Oh,
We all know you.
Bob Smith, Squires and Holden,
Great to see you.
46 Jagger Lane, Southampton. That's just so the guys know who to write the tickets to. All right. This original application was done back in '86 and approved by the planning board, but never went to the health department. Property got sold, new owner, different configuration, and the first thing out of the box was 100 foot down the east property line buffer. These are 2 kettle holes in Shinnecock Hills that have never seen a drop of water in the bottom of them. I mean, this is sand. Anything that falls on the ground penetrates the ground. What Mr. Perone would like to do is cut that buffer down to say 50 feet because we're not putting any water in here. And we realize you want to protect the vegetation. We can't build along that side anyhow because of the slope. So, I mean, to reduce that buffer to 50 feet would be a huge advantage for him. In the back, they'd ask for a 50-foot buffer for Luco or PSE&G. But PSE&G has never driven on this property. I have a copy of an aerial photo that shows there is a dirt road that they use that runs outside of his fence. His fence runs right along that yellow line on this drawing.
Could you hold that up? Because we can't, I can't see it.
Pass it around for them.
We'll pass it around.
I mean, I realize there might have to be some easement closer to the tower to service the tower, but if you notice the yellow highlight, that is the fence. He has a plastic fence that's been there for 20 years. It runs, they've never been on the property.
Oh.
There's no easement on the property to the east. There's no easement on the property to the west. So Mr. Perone is proposing that we put some sort of an easement around the tower because they have access without traveling on his property.
So they get in from South Valley.
Yeah, they come in from South Valley. You can see right on they come up South Valley and they make the turn, and it's off his property where they make the turn.
So you don't need an easement buffer back there?
Well,
Is that what
I
you-
don't see, I mean, the fence has been there for 20 years,
Yeah.
you know, and the Bill goes outside the fence.
Actually, they have the ability to go in and clear, and they typically do, right? They go in and clear those areas anyway.
Well, because they have the road outside, they use that, they
Yeah,
utilize that.
but they
And-
have the right to go
well,
in.
it's questionable, the argument they have, you know.
Well, I'm saying,
They've always felt that they had a 66-foot right-of-way through Shinnecock Hills.
yeah,
But the only right-of-way of record is a 1-foot right-of-way given to them by parish to erect poles,
right,
not towers.
And the properties on either side don't have the easement.
okay.
no
Could we
easement.
have your name for the record, please?
Joan McGivern from Toomey Latham.
Okay. So, Claire, what about the trail?
Oh, yes, the trail would be something we'd want. So what are you showing now?
Well, the last go around, there was, they were gonna move the trail along Canoe Place Road because it doesn't serve a purpose to go up to the railroad tracks. And the current plan, from what I understand from Marty, is it comes up South Valley Road. And then we're proposing giving them 5 feet or showing a 5-foot easement in Canoe Place Road, which is a trustee's road. So they could walk along there. If you recall, the original plan for this Panamoke Trail was to walk across the railroad bridge. And the railroad didn't think that was a good idea.
Okay, they're
So now
saying.
they've adjusted their plan to come down to Montauk Highway and walk over there.
Yeah, Trails Advisory is suggesting, like you said, the Canoe Place Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the southern border of the lot, yeah,
okay.
Claire, if we reduce this to 50 feet, it'll leave us enough room in here to put your trail.
I know there's been an effort, and I think Mike Lieberman is now working with an organization that was working on a bike trail, you know, from the city all the way to Montauk.
okay.
I don't know what the latest status of that is, and I remember years ago, you know, when I was here, there was often discussion about putting something adjacent to the tracks or under the LIPA power line. You haven't heard anything current
No, but
efforts
that was
along
the
those-
discussion, yeah, right.
And there was a lot of gray area with regard to the easement and the right of way.
Theoretically, then we'd make a 15-foot bike trail on the north property line. I mean, is that what you're angling at?
I just
I mean,
would hate to
I
sit
think
here
that would be
today and.
plenty.
I think all these things are pie in the sky for the future.
Right,
And I understand that, and, you know, you have an opportunity to gain some sort of an access. I don't think Mr. Perone would fight it with a 15-foot strip there. And then we'll make another cutout for the tower, for Lilco.
Yeah, I don't think we need anything for the tower. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have a conservation easement there because LIPA typically goes in and
That's what they want.
they clear,
Yeah.
they clear cut. So they'd be creating conflict. So that certainly doesn't make sense, but
And
the
this is
15 foot. Sure,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so this is the LIPA PSEG. This is separate from the right of way that the railroad has.
Correct.
That's to the, I guess, north. of
Railroad
this.
line goes to our north property line.
Right, which I think is also, you mentioned 66 feet, and I remember.
Usually that's what the railroad lines are.
I was gonna say, that's what I was
They
thinking.
narrow down to 33 in some places, but it's
I mean, the only thing that comes,
It's two separate.
16 and a half, 33, 49 and a half, 66.
the only thing that comes, is big issue.
That's where
in
that
this
came
area.
from, okay.
Thank you.
The only big issue in this area, I don't know if it's been mentioned, is the very active area for the Shinnecock. This is the fort, the Shinnecock Fort area.
Oh, we've done it, we've done
done
an
the 1A?
archaeological study and.
Have done,
it
okay.
has that.
Yeah, because good, good. Okay, so,
So the big question now is how big to make these radiuses around the kettle hole?
I mean, radius is kind of hard to do, right? I think more of like a straight line.
yeah,
but then you're taking all this land in here that doesn't affect it. I mean,
I think it's also for the vegetation. I'm not quite sure. Do you have the?
there's no vegetation on this.
No vegetation
There's
on
no
the lot?
vegetation on this property.
Anthony,
Is
can
the area
you
the same?
zoom in to the
Yeah,
aerial?
sure. It's right on the survey. There's a line of vegetation in the back, lot 1, lot 2. It comes down off the railroad tracks and goes around, that's all cleared. And then around the house is all cleared. But the rest of it is not.
Oh, yeah, the trees down, huh?
A lot of that was the pine beetles killed all the pine trees.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
just cleared them, they just cut them down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we did show the clearing. And I seriously think, you know, a radius works much better because you're trying to protect the whole. You're not trying to protect the whole length of the property.
But how do you segment that, identify it? When it's a straight line, you could put a fence up.
You put a fence around the radius. I mean,
That's true. I mean.
I mean, we stake, think of the wetlands, we stake buffers to the wetlands that go
Small fence.
up, down, round, and
Think of like a split rail or something.
Split rail, might be
Yeah,
easier
and the-
just to, if we're gonna do, typically we do a split rail fence, Bob, to delineate these areas so people, so it might be better to square it off somehow,
Like a hexagon or
right?
something.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conservation board comments mention the 2 kettle holes, but also mentions the steep slopes as part of the
Yeah.
intent for the conservation easement. So, you know, looking at that, you know, maybe we could work with you to get a little more out of this, but not have it preserve some of the slopes as well.
The steeper slopes are next to the house. That's the problem.
In terms of a straight line, if you did 50 feet straight up, you would lose, I mean, this is a saddle here, this is a high point, but, you know,
Yeah.
you can protect it if you want. We can make these rectangles, you know, instead of circles, at 50 feet like that. And then border them with a split rail fence. Of course, that doesn't stop this guy from coming in. He hasn't got a split rail
No.
fence, but.
Yeah, at least it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something.
then you know where the clearing would be and things
Right.
like that if you have a point of reference.
Right, right.
Okay.
Good with 50, and then we'll take out the conservation on the north on the railroad tracks there.
Thank you.
And, You're gonna, we're
You're gonna
talking about a
link,
15-foot, 15-foot, what do we do, an easement there, or gonna do a fee
Uh,
dedication? Is there a park fee?
You could do obviously you could do a conditional, honestly,
Okay.
that would be fine, or you could do an easement, either one.
What's your pleasure, Bob? You want an easement, or would you want like a conditional offer if the trail ever gets,
I think a conditional offer would probably be a better solution.
okay,
you know,
yeah, that way,
because If it never comes to fruition.
yeah, it just sits out there,
And
exactly.
that, then we probably still do the trail.
Still do
of
this
course.
trail down
Yeah,
here, yeah.
Yeah, for whatever, the trail
Yeah.
spies were saying, so, okay.
So
So
they can walk here and they can ride their bikes up there and.
Do you
everybody
wanna
be happy.
mark it up and then we'll do it for the next meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, why
Do you
not?
need more time, obviously you'll need more time for the health department, 6 more months?
Probably.
Extend the pre after
Yeah.
6 months.
Then I'll have it all written up for the
Okay.
next meeting.
Do we have a motion for that? Motion by Tom, second by Kate, all in favor?
Okay.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, we have 5 yes. Oh, wait a minute,
Did you want?
we're in work session. We'll
Yeah, you
extend
can't
it
do
as soon as we get a
Well,
regular
no,
session.
no, what we can do is I'll just do everything, including the extension for the next meeting.
Okay.
That way we have a map, you guys
Yeah,
can
at
bless
least
it.
we've ironed out all
And
the
the report will
issues.
be updated to reflect what we discussed today.
Great.
Great, good, thank you.
Robert, as always.
There's a box around both
Yep.
of these.
Yep, you can just send it to me and then I can tell you it looks good and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy, are you gonna jump in on 20 days? It's a covenant
That's
amendment.
theirs, that's not mine. Somebody else's note. I don't take anybody's notes. They get here and not have their cheat sheets.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you, Bob.
Yes, good.
Hi, how are you? Just tell us your name, please.
I'm Effie Neofitos, my husband and I.
Who,
Effie Neofitos.
Effie Neofita, welcome.
Let me just explain all about the
Sure.
here, Dennis and the board. Back in 1995, a 2-lot subdivision was done. So it was just the 2 lots. It was this piece here, this piece here. Nothing else going on in the area, but at the time, this piece, they put a 40-foot buffer on Lynn Avenue, and it was wooded at one point. This lady purchased the property at some point. Noticed there was a buffer on there. Wanted to get a permit to put a fence back there, and the building department came back and said there's a buffer. Which came to me and talked about the buffer and looking at it. You know, she wanted to sit before the planning board to see, consider eliminating the buffer in this case. Very different from a lot of other subdivisions where we have a big subdivision where we're creating buffers.
Yeah.
This was sort of done, you know, my opinion about this one is this property's burdened, and I get, they did a subdivision in the 90s, but the property's burdened with 2 front yards.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and it's very oddly shaped. So once permits were issued, obviously people started using the back here for yards. Not a lot of natural vegetation, a lot of lawn in this area. There's obviously trees that people have kept up. Sorry, my voice isn't loud enough. Unheard of. And so she was requesting, so before I had her submit, you know, the big fee and actual legal documents, I just wanted to present it to the planning board in this case.
I
to
mean,
get an
it
opinion.
does make a lot of sense that.
This was one where I looked and I was like, you know, there's not a lot of room on this property to do anything. And actually, she had agreed that the trees that are still in there on on Lynn, she was going to keep up, actually, not take them down. So
Could we reduce it versus eliminating it?
That's an
I
option
mean, Lynn
that you have.
Avenue is such a scenic drive.
Yeah.
There it is close to the water, so you know there is value in keeping some of those trees and keeping that
So
buffer.
I have no
for
intention of
you
removing
too.
any trees. So since my husband and I purchased the property in the end of '20. So in the summer of '22, we put a pool in our backyard, and at that time is when we found out that we had 2 front yards. We didn't know that until the pool company went to do the pool permits, and they were told that we needed a 50-foot setback, which we really didn't. We only needed, we were told we needed a 60-foot setback, which we didn't. We only needed the 50-foot setback, which was the buffer. So there were trees when we bought the property, and one of the reasons I guess we didn't know about the 2 front yards was there was an opening on Lynn Avenue, and it was being used as an active driveway. There was an RV on the property at the time. There was a boat. There was a doorbell. So we found out more about the property during the pool permit process. So as Anthony said, it's an irregular. It's a sloping property. The only flat areas on the property are around the pool, the hardscape, and the buffer. That's it. Everything else on the property is sloping. The neighboring property that was the subdivision that was done in the 90s is much larger. It's, I believe it's double the size of my property, and the shape is different. So I'm not quite sure why the buffer was put on my side and not on that side. I have 2 other neighbors on the side. They're both corner houses. One of them does have a fence on Lynn Avenue. The home next door, the larger home, has 2 active driveways, one on Lynn and one on Bay. And since I finished my pool in the buffer, I filled in the spots. I closed off that driveway that was there. I planted more. There were green giants there. So I planted 22 green giants in the buffer. And then I planted an additional 68 trees on the other side of the fence. So right now my pool fence is running along the buffer, and it's at a very unusual angle because of the way the property is angled. You can see the fence is all along that buffer, and it comes like right up to the hardscape. And we had to put 2 retaining walls up to build the pool.
So if we were to reduce the buffer,
I'm sorry?
if we were to agree to reduce the buffer, it would be the pool side. You want it moved away from the pool?
I want it moved away to the pool, so I'd like to put the fence on my side of the yard so it wouldn't be visible from the street, but I'd like to take it down to that. I have 2 different rows of green giants there. I'd like to take it down to the row that's by the street, but on my side, so it wouldn't be visible from the street. And that way I can have a flat area for the kids in my family to play in back there. I'd like to fence it in and on all sides. Right now, we have soaker hoses running around the green giants, but we really can't maintain that area and have a sprinkler system there because of the covenant. So ultimately, I'd like to eliminate the buffer.
Yeah, there's no
because
vegetation there.
It doesn't really serve any purpose for the neighborhood, and it really hinders our property.
I don't,
So it's a buffer, but it's not really a vegetated buffer. It's
Yeah.
It's like there's some.
But actually, if you want to
established
plant
along
something
the
in there,
roadside,
you
right?
can go ahead and plant it
I think they could even be within the right of way for all I know. It's hard to tell.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go and plant in there if you want, but there's nothing to protect, preserve,
No, there's nothing to
you know,
protect
at
or
one time
preserve.
there
it.
was,
Mm-mm.
you know, so.
No, in fact, if you look, it was a weirdly written, it even says, restricted, the only thing that could happen is the planting of trees. It
Yeah.
was just a weirdly written buffer altogether. So this was one where I felt I could come to the board with and,
You need a public hearing on this?
no, there
No.
was no public hearing. And I know that, the planning board had that discussion, and I get it, by the way. If this was a subdivision with 50 lots in there and everybody had buffers, we
Right.
talk about one, yeah, we would have to. This one, I'm really sort of comfortable with this,
Yeah.
to be quite honest. And, I was going to have her then submit, the fee and the proper paperwork.
Proper, okay. So I think you're hearing support just to eliminate the buffer.
So, are there street trees there that would be maintained then? I'm just wondering if we keep a 10-foot or something, then you still
I
would have a
maintain
lot
it.
more.
I maintain the
but-
street trees because, and I have soaker hoses. I replanted. I put soaker hoses around them because there's so much noise on Lynn Avenue, and we had no privacy.
Yeah.
So that's why I then also added a second row of green giants. So I have no intention of eliminating anything because I've planted almost everything there right now.
Right.
That's
Things,
giving you privacy to your pool.
Yeah,
privacy to the pool. It's
So you'll
cut
just
down on
move
the
them
noise.
back towards Lynn Avenue, right?
I'm not going to touch any what's on Lynn Avenue. I want to put the fence, move my fence on my side. And then I will do like another row of green giants to try to eliminate more of the noise. It's very noisy. We have the motorcycles that go down towards
Yeah.
Conquag, and
Big.
it's a noisy
yeah,
street.
they got it on Lynn Avenue, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so my point is Hampton Bays has really very limited clearing restrictions. So it's, I understand what your intent is, right? But the planning process travels with the property. And so to get you what you need on your property, but also kind of like maintain that piece is an important aspect of community character, and especially along that
I agree.
roadside. So I'm wondering if, 40 feet down to, 10 feet, or if we cut it in half to 20, what gives you enough room? I think that would be a good thing when you're going to be submitting your application to show on the survey, oh, we'd like to cut the buffer area in half, and that would give us enough room, and then, we can consider that, but also maintain a portion of that conservation.
But right now, it's a non-disturbance buffer. It's been fully disturbed.
Yeah, that's
Theoretically,
what we
you wouldn't
found.
be able to plant if we had a buffer there.
Right, which doesn't matter
That's what I
because
said. Make-
nature returns
Maybe
itself, so.
half, but make sure the half that is there is vegetated, has trees and is maintained.
Right, yeah, so you're gonna come back in with your application, and that would be my suggestion, is to see what amount of room that you need and reduce the buffer versus eliminating it entirely, because the planning process travels with the property, not what your intent is, and over time, that matters, those little decisions.
Can your survey show us what's planted when you bring the application in, so we can look and see?
It does not show what's planted. I can take pictures of what's.
No, I know what they're asking for. You'll come and talk to me, and I'll direct you.
Right.
where
Anthony, what's the size of the buffer now?
It's 40 feet. What you're looking at, it's this area right back here. This is.
So to give her maximum flexibility and still provide a buffer, can we go to 10 feet? Is that sufficient?
It may be. Let's see what the survey, if we're going to get a survey and see where the tree line is.
Okay.
If it's sitting in the town's right of way, then we don't,
As
then
long
it's
as,
sitting in the right of way.
as long as we know that what buffer remains is going to have trees and bushes and whatever.
Which I think then solves what we're talking about, and it also provides you with more space to use, but also a buffer for your privacy and noise
Yeah,
reduction.
which is there now. I mean, like I said, I've increased it and it's there, and I absolutely need that. It's not even a question of ever being able to clear that. It wouldn't make any sense for privacy and noise.
Yeah.
It's, my goal is to plant more there, and also to be able to plant more on the side, because I'm getting a lot of noise coming off of that neighboring driveway when the
Right.
motorcycles go out, and there's not enough of a buffer on the side. So if I move my fence, I'm gonna have more opportunity to landscape that, you see like that dark corner there?
Yeah.
That really needs to be landscaped heavily there.
Yeah.
And it'll also allow me to move, I had put a gate into the buffer, it'll allow me to move the gate to a better place to have access to the buffer.
Yeah, you have to amend the covenant to allow you to do that, because usually, typically, non-disturbance buffers are non-disturbance. You can't plant in there, so we want to allow you to plant. So show us what's planted in there, and then we can,
and then we'll
Yeah,
come
once we
back.
have an application in front of
Yeah.
us, I think that would be my guidance, is that you show the existing and then the proposed based on the guidance that's being provided. And, you know, for me, that you've seen in Canoe Place, you wouldn't think that they would have ever removed all those trees for privacy, but it was completely clear cut. And so, you know, maintaining what is still viable of non-disturbance buffers, conservation easements, especially in Hampton Bays, I think is very important. So thanks for being willing to hear it.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for letting me present to you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming in. We're going to close the afternoon work session, convene the afternoon regular session. We did the pledge, we did the attendance, we did minutes.
No, you won't see me until tomorrow.
And Anthony, did you want to keep going? We're now in regular session with Hampton Cove Estates. Is that still on?
There's just a report and a resolution in there. You have a copy, Kevin?
I do. Thank you.
So everybody's familiar with the site. This is at the corner of Fanning and Canoe Place.
Oh, yeah. That's four.
Yeah, it was the eight,
Yeah.
8 motel units.
Yeah.
This happened in the 80s, converted to the apartment
Right,
units.
they never.
Everything's over 600 square feet. The property actually is in very good shape here. Looks nice. It's properly hedged. It's even hedged on the side here, and the parking, sort of just.
Could we just
This
get
is
your
the
name
one
for the
where
record?
last time, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Could we just get your name for the record?
Kevin Springer, Dynamic Legal.
Just had a question where we left off last time. We were asking whether the Suffolk County Health Department needed to approve an
So-
upgraded septic. Is that,
So
am I
that's, we're
calling
getting, the
correctly?
septic is being
Okay.
upgraded. So what happened was we held the hearing, everything was closed, everything was done. The issue of septic popped up, so we wound up redeeming the application incomplete. They came in with a plan with the septic update. I re-referred it to the fire marshal and to the engineer,
Great.
and everything was good. If you go to the report here, which is the first one, it's a special exception. You could just go to page 2. It's a special exception use in the town code. The secret, this is a type 1 action, and we did a neg deck in August of 2024. So it's been sitting around for a while. The town engineer was grayed out because I didn't have comments, but I did get comments from Tom. The septic system is going in the grassed area here, so he has no further comments. He was more concerned if it was going in the parking lot. It doesn't. The Office of Fire Prevention is a requirement of these types of applications, and they didn't have any comments. So they will do their normal building review when the building permit goes in. This is subject to special exception standards. That it will be in harmony and promote the general purpose and intent of the chapter. What I would say is, given the residential zoning around here and the residential uses, I would say that the residential multifamily use is more consistent with zoning
Yes.
than the commercial use. The plot area is sufficient. This is a pre-existing site, so it is what it is, and the property's been utilized like this. It doesn't seem to be any flags, any major issues. The use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties. Again, there doesn't seem to be any issues. A lot of residential development here, and then some multifamily on the other side. Is the site suitable? Again, it's a residential zoning, and this use is more consistent with that. It's not near a church or a school or a theater. F talks about a non-nuisance industry, and whether this meets the definition of, in this case, a motel conversion, which it does, subject to special exception standards. Access facilities are existing. It is noted that, in this case, I should point out that the parking, and actually I was incorrect, it is noted on the plan. The units are designated for specific parking places, so the units are numbered and the parking spaces are numbered, so that's good. Curb cuts have been approved. Again, these are existing here. Eyes about the parking requirements. They show that they're meeting the parking requirement for the 8 units with designated specific parking. Buffers, the buffers are existing. Everything else is improved up to the property lines, but we do have the vegetation in the front that's pretty robust and hides the building. Kay talks about stormwater disposal. This I only grayed out because I was waiting for the engineer's comments, but he had no further comments at this point, so that's okay. L is about the outdoor sales lot, which is not really applicable here. And M talks about specific standards, which there are some here. So under those standards, A talks about the review by the fire department, the fire marshal, which we did, and we have the comments here and incorporated. B, the application shall be for the entire parcel. That is the case here. All 8 units are part of the application. C, the planner shall find that the subject parcel lawfully existed for use as multiple dwelling resort motel prior to the date. This does have a pre-existing CO from 1972 for 8 units. Motel. D, the total floor area for all buildings shall not exceed the total floor area for the dwellings. There's been no change in the building size at all. You need a minimum of 600 square feet for each unit. They are all over 600 square feet. Some of them, we're looking at 630, 640, roughly, something like that. F talks about accessory uses shall only be used by residents or available to residents. There really are no other accessory uses here, but that's always a standard condition. G talks about screening from neighbors, and again, there's really no opportunity. We do note there's actually no parking lot lighting there either, so it's actually pretty good. There is some lighting on the building, so we just have a general condition in there to bring any lighting into compliance. There might be like 2 lights at the top there. You can probably just bring them down a little bit, and there's not much else there, so it wasn't a huge issue, but we did put it in the resolution. H talks about 20% of the units being available for vacationers or transient, but that's except in the residential zoning district, so that's not applicable here. I refers to this application as a type 1 action, which we did a neg deck back in August of 2024, and this is weird, there's a fee of $1,000 for the conversion, which was paid. So really any of the issues was lighting. I just note in there that we'll request that the building lighting be made code compliant. No additional landscaping. The big thing is we're getting the septic system upgraded here, and I think that's the big plus, and that's what we're going to get out of this.
That's a good thing.
The dumpster, just before we go to the resolution, look, I had the applicant remove the dumpster that was sitting in the front here.
Right.
There's really nowhere to put a dumpster on this property, so I note in there to show on the side when we get to the resolution some either dumpster or refuse area. I'm almost inclined to just show an area where they would keep trash cans as opposed to a full-blown dumpster.
Which is
what I think they're doing now.
That is what they do now.
And if that's going to be the case, then actually you could probably just state that to me, because I don't think a dumpster here is going to really work.
Makes sense.
And miscellaneous was just about the affidavit. So if you go to the second
Resolution.
if we could just go to the page 2.
Some conditions here.
Yeah, we're going to approve the staff report. It's dated August 14th. And then it's a further resolve to approve the special exception application for Hampton Cove Estates for the conversion of the 8 motel units to the 8 cooperative units, subject to the following conditions. Actually, it's just to show the dumpster refuse area, and I think you could just note it on the map. There's a location in front of the building. 2, the general conditions. No dusted dawn lighting fixtures, no additional lighting on the property without planning board approval, and all lighting shall be shielded downward. Prior to the signature of the plans, we don't need A anymore, we have town engineer approval. The affidavit that has to be submitted along with the 10 prints for signature. And then prior to the issuance of a CO, lighting on the building to be made code compliant, and then compliance with all applicable state and local building and fire code requirements.
Sounds good. Any questions for Anthony? Springer, any issues?
Nope, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Great.
It's good to see it finally completed.
Yes. Motion for approval, is that?
I'll motion.
Motion by Gloria, and second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks again. Anthony, you want to do the bocce
We're
ball?
actually going to do an extension until next time, actually.
Okay, that's item 4 is an extension till what date?
8/28/25.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Charlie Fox.
So, here you go up there, Dave. All right.
Hey, how are you? This is for retail cannabis.
It's front.
It's the short staff report that you.
Yeah, it's front and back there, you'll see. Quick one. Everyone's familiar with the site here. This is the old
Do you have a copy of this? You do.
car club building on the County Route. This is the car club.
Next to Service Pro.
Yeah, that's correct. So you're familiar with the property, it's highway business along the County Route 39. And then you have some distance to the corner of McGee Street. And then on the north end there's Tuckahoe School. And this vacant property is also owned by the school. Those two properties, while not on the same street as the cannabis facility, does abut the property in the rear. We have an application. This is a pre-submission conference, so it's not a formal application. So I prepared a memorandum here or a little report to identify the issues. You know, the big thing here, obviously, is that it's abutting the school property in the back. So that's the gist of what we're talking about. So I do note in here, so the planning board raises concerns with key provisions of both the special exception standards as well as the Office of Cannabis Management. The first one talks about the general special exception standard. The characteristics of the proposed use are not such that its proposed location would be unsuitably near a church, school, theater, recreational area, or other places of public assembly. I note in here, given the project location immediately adjacent to Tuckahoe School, the planning board finds that proposed cannabis may be unsuitably located near a school. 2 talks about, and Dave is going to clarify something here, about a recent clarification, a memorandum that went out from the Office of Cannabis Management regarding how distances are measured to schools, and apparently there was a clarification measuring to the property line of the school as opposed to the door of the school, and that the school did not need to be on the same street, which was one of the other criteria.
Right.
So we note in there, and I do note that in this case, the Tuckahoe School abuts the property in the rear with the dispensary building well within 500 feet of the closest property line. So we note that that's an issue. And then 3 talks about a transitional yard, because there's a 100-foot transitional when you're adjoining. It says residential parcels. Obviously, these are not improved residences, but they are R60 zone. And given the school location, that I believe this board would impose some type of transitional setback to sort of maintain some type of distance or separation between the school property and the cannabis business. So I note here that given the apparent noncompliance with certain town special exception standards as described above, as well as the Office of Cannabis Management regulations, the site suitability for a non-medical cannabis dispensary is in question. And I'll let Dave take it over.
Mr. Gilmartin, you have the floor.
So Anthony was good enough to get me the report yesterday, and I just object to the language in number 2, where it says New York State Office of Cannabis Management recently clarified the distance. As Anthony says in the last sentence, it's a regulation. It's codified how it's to be measured, and that measurement's reflected in your code and the New York Code of Rules and Regulations, right? The doctrine of legislative equivalency requires the legislature to go back and change that law. So I think the language should really say that the Office of Cannabis Management recently issued a memorandum that questioned the consistency between 9 NYC RR 119 and Cannabis Law 72.6. What this was a memorandum by the acting director of OCM, who doesn't have the power to change the law. It was her interpretation that there was a conflict, but that has to go through a legislative process.
Didn't she say it was also in conflict with the education law?
Well, the education law, the cannabis law quotes the education law about location, right? And yes, that is, cannabis law is in conflict with NYCRR is the thing, but she doesn't have the ability to change NYCRR. That's to be done by the legislature. So I think that language should really reflect what it was. I think it goes a step too far.
It's questioned, not clarified. Is that
Questioned.
kind of what you're?
Well, yeah, I'd say it exactly like what happened. Issued a memorandum.
Right, you read it, I didn't get all that, but.
Right, I said recently issued a memorandum that questioned the consistency.
Anthony, are we on an action deadline on this?
Yes, I would say we are.
Because, I'd rather get these proposing language that deals with the legal issue rather than try to piece to.
We reviewed this,
You
we're
reviewed it?
comfortable with it, but I don't particularly have an objection with what he's saying, he's just factually stating it differently.
Okay.
But it's still.
Are you
factually
able to
correct.
amend that language in
Yeah,
accordance with?
absolutely. I just want to do note, though, I do want to keep the rest of it that, the school does not have to be on the same street. That
Right,
was.
well, it doesn't meet the
The
town's
only-
special exception standard.
We'll wordsmith it and come back, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but the law still says the way that we've been operating until that law changes. And I'll tell you, at least what I've been hearing and what I've seen, that law is going to get changed so that it comes back to be consistent with NYCRR. There's a proposal in the New York Senate to do that, and then that the same person, the acting director of OCM, had a memo on August 6th. The first memo was on July 30th. The next memo, and I should say Charlie Fox has a license to open from the state today. They've had it since March. And what they say about the impacted licensee action right now, OCM is not, and then it lists the things that they're not doing. And one of them, which is applicable to this application, is not directing licensees to stop working toward opening if they are not yet open. So OCM is acknowledging the existence of the license and the ability to open still, and that
They're
memo.
not issuing new ones.
I would.
I believe it said they weren't gonna be issuing new ones under those old guidelines until it's clarified.
Well, we have one, so it's not applicable to this
For the
application.
2 years, you had it for 2 years. Well,
It's such a fluid situation. At first they came out and said 2 years, and now they seem to be walking back this interpretation, and hopefully they resolve this before it's.
So do you
becomes
wanna just
an issue.
change the first sentence and leave the rest of it?
Well,
Like to the wording that you said, I'm fine, otherwise if you wouldn't mind, then agreeing to adjourn it to next
Well, I
2
think
weeks so we can rework
The
it.
first two sentences of number 2, is the second sentence says further, they clarified that the school does not have to be on the same street, right? So I just asked for the same language in that they issued a memorandum which
That also
stated the
questions
inconsistency.
the consistency for both. So is that okay?
You can incorporate it, you can amend it, Anthony?
Absolutely. And I'll make sure Christine looks at it before I.
Do you wanna do this today, or do you
Let's
wanna?
do it today.
Okay, so,
I'll work with Anthony. just to-
okay, so we'll adopt this today with amended language, and if we need to tweak it further, we can amend it.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay.
If I could just ask
Just such- just as he said, just-
those legislature doesn't convene again until January unless there's a special session, which I've heard, may or may not happen, who knows? So the law itself wouldn't be changed until January. So the question is, my question, if it could be answered right now, is how does that affect what we
Well,
do?
this is just the pre-app, so we're
Right.
just
Yeah.
raising the issue.
Okay.
We don't have to have it resolved at this moment, it's just that if it's not resolved by the time this comes back to us, then we'll have to deal with it then, but right now, we don't have
Yeah.
to.
It still doesn't change the
Okay.
point made in number 1.
Anthony's going to do it to reflect that both of those conditions.
No, she's talking about the first bullet point
Oh,
regarding
sorry.
the general
I don't
special
have it
exception
in front of me.
standards.
I don't have to,
General special exception conditions.
those are all the same. That's staying,
So
the only thing that's staying in
that's-
question is
that's-
2.
Yeah, this number one is saying it doesn't fit in with our special exceptions rules.
Correct, that's
Well,
all.
I wouldn't go that
He's gonna
far. It
argue
says
that's
maybe
right.
unsuitably,
That's-
maybe,
Well,
right?
that's,
Not amending that, though.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what she
That's,
means.
yeah,
We're
the
amending
maybe,
to.
the maybe makes me feel comfortable.
Okay, so Anthony, we'll adopt this now, you'll
I'll
circulate the amended language. Sounds good. Do we have a motion to adopt the pre-submission? Motion by Tom, second by Kate, all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks, Mr. Barnhart. Claire, are you ready to jump in, or? Okay. 715 County Road 39.
Pass this down. It's here. You want to come up here?
Sure.
This is a pretty straightforward one. This is where an existing automobile
See ya.
sales and repair. It is also to legalize the second story.
We'll take them all.
Oops.
Yeah.
Thanks. We got enough.
So it's to legalize the second story and formalize the parking. So the original site plan on this had a buffer in the back. The pre-submission process, there was guidance for a 20-foot buffer on the back, and then I think 15 on the east
What's
side.
in there now?
Huh?
What facility's in there now?
Oh, it's an automobile repair and sales. They have both uses
okay.
on the property.
And sales.
Yes, it's like
Is that Georgiopolis
Yes,
Motors?
exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So there was a second story. They were going to originally have an office, but really, was there any room for that?
Right.
So to make it simpler, it's just storage now. They've modified it to be just storage. We had limited referrals on this to the fire marshal, town engineer, who had no concerns. And the fire marshal, really, their concerns was just like protecting any utilities on the side with bollards or, protection. Of course, we have screening requirements. So that's the fire marshal from July 29th. Everybody else, it was letter of local determination, public works, no issues. The property does enjoy the two uses on the property. They got a variance from the zoning board of appeals way back in 95 for that. So it is a car repair, car storage, display for sales. So control it a little bit maybe. And so I thought maybe they would show where the car display would be on the property.
We
And
don't
maybe-
want display out front.
Yeah, and then make sure that the front bay area, anything in front of the building, that was my recommendation, to kept clear from display and storage. So that was my big issue with that. And the other thing is that the building has, on Google Maps, you can see the building has 4 lights that just wash the building, and that's not permitted by the code. So asking them to remove that prior to CO.
Is there any opportunity for cross-access? I'm looking at the aerial. I know there's a grade change.
They do show the cross-access. I didn't put it in there. Do you want to do like a general cross-access? That kind of makes
Okay.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The property to the west already had that cross-access put in there, and you
Right.
can see the driveway kind of road
That's
right up to it.
RJW or
All
whatever.
right,
That's the
then.
one
RJW.
next door.
That's
Yeah.
correct. So we made sure that we lined up what we have with them.
Okay.
'Cause it seemed to go along with what.
Do you want it implemented now? I'm not quite sure about the grade, do you? Do you know?
It does drop off.
Yeah.
It would be like a ramp or something.
It's pretty, yeah, it's
Certainly
about,
would
it's about
benefit your site,
a
because
3 or 4 foot drop off.
if you're ever gonna go east, I mean, you can't make a left turn out of there. You can head across the back, go down Tuckahoe and come out by Sandy Hollow or something.
Right. Yeah.
Or somewhere, or McGee.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Good.
So is that something you wanna implement now?
Sure, we can.
Okay.
You can still put a gate across there, though, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, because he's got concerns about just people coming in from the back. He'd rather have people pulling in from the front, is what he's always been mentioning to me.
Okay.
Because he mentioned that back in 08.
Doesn't that sort of defeat the purpose of the cross-access?
Let me get the surrounding property is the golf course, so there is something to that's not gonna be developed. If that ever gets developed, that's gonna be a different animal, right?
The golf course goes.
But for people getting out of that property, it's much safer to go to Tuckahoe Lane.
Yep.
And we don't often see that, direct
Yeah.
A
connection.
gate would impact the cross-access.
Right,
You're
I mean-
absolutely right. But I would tend to think,
Logical.
I think
from
while
a
he's in
business point of
operation,
view,
he'll
more
have it
people
open.
are gonna be on 39 are gonna see it.
Right.
You'd have to know it's there to wanna come in from Tuckahoe Lane.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, I
think,
see, I see, you're saying coming in
Just-
from Tuckahoe.
It would be mostly for, it would be for exiting if they
exit.
wanted to go east.
That's exactly right. So
Which is-
I'm thinking when business is open, he'll open up the gate, and, when he's got business, but then the business is closed. This has already got a gate that closes off the back anyway at the moment.
It seems
Right.
illogical because it's, again, dependent upon the individual operating the property versus then we're allowing a gate and we don't have any
Excuse me.
policing of whether it's open or closed and what times. It doesn't seem to make sense to me.
I don't know that we've ever gotten involved in cutting off access by, hours or days of the week or anything like that.
The cross-access goes with the property, not the owner.
Right.
So it's either,
you could have signage. Install signage. There's, I know the site, it's a full sea of asphalt on the North Highway. Are there any opportunities to get any
Additional plantings?
type of
Something
greenery in the front?
Unfortunately, the trouble is he's got the bays that are in front, so when you
Oh,
in and out,
the garage bays are
garage
there.
bays are in
Okay.
front, so when you're
Yeah.
pulling in and out, it makes it really
Yeah,
difficult. He
you
said he
can't,
tried
yeah.
planting once before and everything died on him.
Everything died, yeah. I see, okay.
Yeah, and they're very active bays. I
They
went
are.
by today,
So
so.
we're gonna limit display and
Correct.
to the
Yes, to the sides.
to the sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that keeps, they would keep an aisle free in the front too. So
Okay.
people could pull in without having to, having a car. Okay, so I'm gonna put the cross-access ability in there. Obviously, I'm gonna mention that there's an existing cross-access to the west, right? To the west.
west.
And it'll be a cross-access easements to the west. Do you want future to the east at all, or no? Just
To the,
because of the golf course.
oh, no.
They're surrounded by the golf course on both sides.
Yeah, the golf course doesn't.
Yeah,
don't
so,
do that.
okay, just cross access to the west. In the form of an easement, okay.
Well, could the golf course people get out that way too?
No, their parking is all in the front there.
Yeah. You can conflicting uses.
Mhm.
So we're, Claire, did you want to, are we going to act on this today?
I can do that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have
What
a finding about the cross access to the west
Okay.
pursuant to, obviously, we have a lot of, master plans as you had planned for the other one, and then it'll be an easement prior to the signature of the plans. They'll have to
Okay,
submit
are
the
there any
easements.
other conditions we need to be aware of?
No, I can read them. So
Sure.
indicate all utilities on the site plan, indicate the 3-foot clearance to be maintained with bollards, indicate the types of species and height of the evergreen trees within the north and east buffers. Note the width of the 2 buffers to the north and east, indicate the area of outdoor storage and display of vehicles on site, front of the building to get clear of display storage. Boxwood should be noted to be 3 foot tall. I think this is sufficient for the cross access, right? That note on the plan, okay. Other than the general conditions, which is the 3-foot clearance, the lighting, compliance with the fire marshal, and then items to be submitted will include the cross-access easement agreements and the legal documents.
Is there any lighting that you're adding for the display of the car? No. No additional lighting.
Additional.
And I'm just gonna make sure that all lighting is conformance. I haven't been to the back. I just make
Yeah.
sure there's no floodlights or things like that, so.
Okay.
There is. I think for the most part, he's just trying to, I'm sorry. I think he's just trying to kind of legalize what he has there.
I
Just,
see.
as everything
Yeah.
kind of has been.
Okay.
Just wondering, so just on the cross access on the east side, thinking through, the people that are exiting the golf course right now have to make a left turn if they want to go east on County Road 39. Is that accurate? So why wouldn't we connect the golf course with this on that same northerly property line?
We could just do a future. We could do a future cross. There's no golf course, you know, they don't have a
They don't
connection.
have
There's
it,
no
right.
agreement on
Mhm.
their side.
Right, so it would just be a future cross-access easement agreement,
Mhm.
which you could ask for,
Right.
which is a
But I
tool.
think if the golf course came in and said, we're having issues with people that live further east getting out of here, and they wanted to implement it, they could come forward and do that.
Yeah, that is a tool.
Let's
So-
go put it in there so it
Yeah.
could be pursued.
So you're gonna amend that plan to show. to
Then the other one would be
Yeah.
labeled future cross-access.
future cross-access.
Right.
Would you want to see it particularly, or just be more general?
I think in alignment with,
It makes sense there. yeah.
Alignment, okay.
aligned with that.
Okay, so
That'll
that'll
be
be
an
two.
additional condition.
Great.
Any other conditions? Kate, do you want to do the motion?
Sure.
Okay.
Hurrah.
Second by Dave. Is that second?
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you.
Oh, good seeing you again.
you.
Thanks for coming in. Everyone pass the maps.
Great.
More paper.
Thank you.
There, you're gonna keep going with the voltaic, item 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond voltaic.
So this one I have for you also. So,
Your applicant's here. How are you? Come on up. You might have one more chair, folding chair for you.
Yep.
When you get a chance, just identify yourself for the audio record if you could.
Kevin Brown, Vogel and Brown, legal attorneys for the applicant. Lou Grasso from Next Gen Property Management LLC.
Great,
Chris Armskog with PW Grosser Consulting Engineers.
great to have you. So we had a public hearing on this and no comments.
okay. So, I'll just start, did you get a copy of it by email or no?
Yes, we
Okay.
got, just on the way over.
Oh, yeah, I know, it's a very short notice, and we don't have to adopt this today. If you have more questions, you have some questions for them, we can refine this. So this is an application, there's an existing sand mine. It's the address I've gotten there, it's, you can see with the open waterway there, the pond, or lake. It is proposed to be, continue to be mined. They have an application with the DEC for, an expansion of the mine to create approximately a 14-acre lake where they would put on, in 2 phases, floating photovoltaic, which would generate solar, obviously, energy on the property. So the 2 phases would be 7 acres and 7 acres approximately. That's what I got from the application they've submitted. I think the board, when they first saw this, had a lot of questions. They came for like a work session. They resubmitted this information. And I think they're still with the pending application with the DEC for the mining. So I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a pond of 14 acres, which is part of our original questions. Like, does this exist? When will it exist? Are we acting on something prematurely here? Was part of the question that I had. So do you want me to go through it? Do you have questions for them first, or go ahead?
No, we do have Regina Dykoff, who worked on the
Oh, yes.
site plan for them, and we also have Steve Olney from Metz, he's the one that's does the floating solar and has been involved in getting this. They've both been before the board before, but we'd like to get them on because.
Do we have those people
Kevin's-
added?
Yep. Should be in the waiting room.
I did give them a heads up that they're coming in, so.
So I know we had a work session on this. We've got a whole tutorial on how this works, and
Yeah.
it's very exciting. What are the central issues you feel we have to deal with?
Well, the big issue is the use.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a big issue of the use, and this is absolutely the right question for the chief building inspector here.
Okay.
Because the code for commercial seems to reference roof mounted or ground mounted. And this is obviously a floating, it's right in the name, right? Floating voltaic. There is mention about ballast, like if you can't put it on the ground because of, issues about poking through, maybe like on a landfill.
Yeah, like the North Sea landfill.
Yeah, on the North Sea landfill, they talk about ballasts, but again, it's roof or grounds. So I don't see that the code says that, but that would be an interpretation for the chief. So I put that right foremost, right in the front of the application.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to, okay.
Yeah, that's number one. Not saying no, it just don't, I'm a very black and white kind of person. I like to see that it says that.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Because this is all new technology. And we need to understand what our code says and what maybe the code should be saying.
Yeah, and as it changes, things could be updated 100%.
Yeah,
It's not enough.
it's going to benefit them too, because.
Yes, and then so that the proper channel with that is for them to get a determination from the chief building inspector about the use prior to any formal application submitted to us.
And then they'll have to meet special exception standards.
Right.
Item 2.
So there's a whole section 330 162.24 solar energy. Did we get them coming in, Peter?
Stephen Oni?
Is his name Stephen Owen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
And
bring
then
him on
Regina Ika?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a Stephen Oni with the hand up. Did you say bring him on or?
Yes, please. Thanks. And then a Regina Bika. A PW grocer too, right? So,
Right.
okay.
All right, they're both coming on.
Great, thanks so much.
Claire, help me remember, is this one of the places where the town wants to advertise the sand use?
Yes. Yeah, so that is item number 4.
Okay. I don't think we had this in the packet, so
Yeah, we didn't have it in the I was working on it as yesterday, so they only got it today too. So if we definitely want to, look at this a little bit more, but yes. So I mentioned the sand mines. This is part of that because it is located for 2 reasons. The 2 reasons that they have: one is that it's residentially zoned. The second one is a special groundwater area, which is obviously Central Pine Barrens and Aquifer Protection Overlay District, which are both of those fall into that.
So they fall within they've mined 90%, so they're operating for 1 more year.
Oh, is that what that says? I just think it just says you're operating a landmine, a sand mine.
It's all subject to the amortization process.
And
Right,
I guess
I didn't look at the amortization process, I just looked at the definition of.
Yeah, so it's
Two
saying,
parties here,
Got them on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the amortization process, I think, is part of how we need to look at this, because if the sand mine can't continue, and we don't know that with that question answered, then it's not 14 acres, it's 7 or something else.
Right. Now, if I could just address that for 1 minute. I believe there's a misconception that the mine approval is a predicate to site plan approval for the mine. It's not. We were, when this first came out, we said, geez, we already got 5 acres approved and we're digging it. It's now there. We also have already gone through a process of getting a complete application with DEC for the full 14, which required answering a lot of questions, noise, water quality. We answered all those. DEC, we were a complete application. We've gone through the whole process. We've done even more water sampling. We got all that information together. And then the other advantage was following so if you put in a solar facility, you have to have a plan to decommission. There's 2 elements to that: how you taking out the panels, how you taking out the transformers, then what's the post use. Oftentimes it's open land. Maybe it'll go back to ag. In this case, we already had a rec plan all drawn up for a 14-acre lake sitting there, but that was part of the complete application, the DEC. However, the most important thing here is the DEC permit is not a predicate to site plan approval. I'll give you an example I'm working on right now in the town of Porter in western New York. It's a 20-acre fish aquaculture.
Where is this? I'm sorry.
Town of Porter, up in western New York.
Okay, so it's not on Long Island.
No, it's a farm pond. It's a farm pond that's going to be used for aquaculture, walleye and perch. What happens is you go to the town, you go through the site plan approval. It also has a hatchery and all that. You go through the site plan approval for that. Then once you complete that, you go to DEC and DEC issues a mine permit. The reason they do that, it's called a construction mining permit. They do it for water bodies, and they do it in the Hudson Valley very frequently because of, for instance, the highlands. If you're putting in some kind of commercial building, you have to clear the rock because it's all straight up and down in the highlands. If you're going to take the rock and not just use it on site, and it's going to be a volume of material, you're going to be selling it off site, DEC issues what's called a construction mining permit. So in our view, we thought, this is great. We've already been through answering all of DEC's questions to get to complete application. We've done all the design for that. Now we come in for site plan. We can get this rolling, get this thing done in a couple of years. That was a couple of years ago. What's happening now is they're investing the money from mining into providing solar. That's what they're doing. Right now, we see what's happening with the tax credits. It was a pretty safe investment with the production or the investment tax credits. It's still a workable project, and Steve can talk about this because he's the one that's done the feasibility on it. But it's getting tighter and tighter, the possibility to get this done. Costs are also going up because of tariffs. So, if we can't get through this in a reasonable time, what's going to happen is we're going to have probably a fenced-off area out there that will reclaim that when we put the mine plan in, the initial mine plan to get to water, we had to be able to get up and down with conveyors to mine it out. So, before the conveyors, he had to take trucks in and out. So we left a haul road mound right down the right side. It meets the slope requirements, but it's a east-west facing. So when we first said maybe we can do the floating in the north and put in land-based in the south. But because that runs north-south, it faces east-west. It's probably almost impossible to anchor, the type of foundations you need for fixed facilities on the slopes.
Can I ask you, let's just ask you, what is the scope of the mining permit you have now?
Right now, we have the 5-acre. We have the east side and the north, and then the next permit was to finish up.
So 5 acres is what you have.
We have.
And the application for the larger was put in 2021.
Right. So even if it was phase 1 that you might be considering, that would be predicated on the DEC saying yes to the enlarged mining.
No, it's not. No, if we get a site plan approval,
For phase 1.
Yeah, DEC just goes through and makes sure you're not doing anything crazy out there for site plans. It's called a construction mining permit, and they're required for water bodies. So as I said, I'm working on a 20-acre aquaculture facility upstate. They go through site plan with the town, then DEC comes in and issues a permit. You have to match, and then they say, okay, make sure, and they look at their criteria to make sure everything's copacetic under their regs.
So I want to ask a few foundational questions because we're talking about a project upstate, we're talking about the solar, but just generally reconciling. You have a permit for 5 acres. What is the total area that is
we
able
actually
to
have
be
a permit
mined?
for a 32. The life of mine acreage is already all affected, and we had a CO from the town initially saying you can go down to Evergreen Ave. It's 32.9 acres.
So
There's a CO from the town of Southampton for sand
We
mining?
had the CO and a letter during the original coordination that said, hey, you can mine down to Evergreen Ave. 32. It was all affected. It's all affected.
Okay.
We're not clearing anything. It might be beneficial at some point. I know there's quorum rules and everything, but for you folks to come out and just take a look.
So, all right, so just bear with me. 32.9 acres total available, 5 acres permitted and excavated out now.
But that's the water body.
The water body, that's
Almost
been mined.
Yeah, right now, the area that has not been affected at all is just the setback, 25-foot setback along the boundaries, and not even, some of them, because it's to the south.
Okay, so I'm just reading the article on the non-conforming sand mine amortization, because there's these 4 different categories. So you fall into the 7 years category to phase out. Is that accurate?
Certainly have, well, that's when you tie to the DEC permit. And the problem with the DEC permit is those are all in this cycle of litigation that's still going on. It's still going on. It'll probably go on for another 5-10 years.
I'm talking about the town's amortization law. So you would fall into the category of having mined less than 50% of the property. Is that accurate?
I don't think we know that.
We've mined the entire area. The entire thing has been affected. Like it's about the depth of reserves. Now, this is also new law that came out recently. And it was a Phillipstown case from 1988, I believe. Once the area is in mining, the depth and the slopes are controlled by DEC permit. That's all been put into a tussle with all this litigation that's out there right now.
So I'm asking whether a categorization has been made on this property by Southampton Town with this new amortization code.
I can't answer that.
She can't answer. She doesn't know.
Because they haven't made the application
We
yet.
we have not made that application.
Okay.
We make that
So
in December.
So that
Right.
was part of my
So
question.
the point that I was making, I think last time you came in, and is still an open question, is to have that determination, I feel is very important, because it's acknowledging the value of the property, and it's giving the owner of the property and the operator time to extract the value of the property over an appropriate amount of time, right? This project is, of course, an investment, but also adding additional value to the property. So my comment earlier was that potentially that amortization period should be shortened, because the value is being added into the property of your rental, to the solar company, and so that we would reduce the environmental impact of the mining by reducing the amount of time left in that. So that's for the record and for consideration. And I think all of that is related. I understand what you're saying, but Hudson Valley is not a sole source aquifer situation. This is different. It's much different.
And if
the
the applicant got the approval, they want to move as fast as possible and be out of there. That,
Right.
Yeah,
So we
that's-
need the answers to those questions, I think,
that's
to
what I'm
properly
saying.
consider it.
Originally came in and we had to come in with the phase plan, and we provided I think Steve provided the phased plan. I remember we came in 2024. We said it'd be about 4 years to get this built, 4 or 5 years. That was 2024. The 5-acre area is mine. So we believe if we get the approvals, we'll have floating solar will be installed on the north side. We had to develop a phased plan where we put in the north side first and then move the dredge down and take the
Right,
second.
so
We'll be done in
my
3
interpretation
years.
is the cart is before the horse here because of all the issues that I've raised.
But what I'm saying is we'll be, with this approval, we'll be, we won't be waiting for the market we'll be moving the sand as fast, because we have a 2-year, 3-year window, 1
with
year.
with the amortization, I mean, there's a chance that they would hold off all 7 years as the price of material goes up. Maybe they hold on to it and take it out slower. If they got approval to do the solar, they're going to be racing to do the solar to get as many tax credits as possible and get the material, the sand, out of the way and sell it for less than they would if they hold on to it. So it's kind of, yes, it's the cart in front of the horse, but each way. I mean, and they can't make a decision on how quickly to move ahead if they don't know what they'll be allowed to do with the property in the future. So I agree. It is
Yeah,
tricky.
and that's where this happens a lot, where the applicant's goals of, financial gain of the property and use of the property is in conflict with what our job is, right? So that's what I'm communicating to you. And that's my opinion. I
Here, I don't
see the
think there's
floor
a-
to others.
With all respect, I don't think there's a great conflict here. The plan, this town is committed to sustainable development. They're willing to put their investment into a long-term investment to provide solar for the next 25 years. We're in line. This isn't just about profits.
It's a different sustainability initiative, and solar won't matter at all if a sole source aquifer is degraded. So the project, I agree with you, it's exciting about solar, but also there's a conflict. And when you read this article, I mean, they were deliberate in putting some significant language in here about sand mines adversely affecting town's drinking water resources and thus the health, safety, and welfare of the residents. I think, there's a conflict there of the two uses, and so,
I agree there's
I just think
concern.
that's important to
I
acknowledge.
agree there's concern, and I did send a letter to Chairwoman. She has a letter where I went through in detail the history of this site and the groundwater monitoring at this site. They're in the voluntary program. They've been monitoring for well over a decade. There's been no impact. They also they electrified all the operations. The haul trucks aren't going by the water body. There's electric conveyors. They went to an electric dredge. We had a decade of data, including the voluntary program, which is samples for things that we had nothing to do with, radionuclide to us. We have all that data. I provided a detailed summary of that in a letter. Is that the letter?
No.
No.
That's
I
another letter
provided
from
a
an attorney.
detailed letter to Chairwoman that laid out the history of sampling at this site, groundwater monitoring, the fact that even when there was they got rid of their mulch operation as soon as there was a question that might impact groundwater. There was a mulch site to the southwest. Suffolk County Health Services came in to sample that site and inadvertently sampled ours because they misunderstood the groundwater flow. That came back with no readings. It was all
I
So
mean,
this
that's
is a
all good
pre-submission,
information.
right? I just,
Yeah.
the whole purpose of the pre-submission conference and the report is to identify issues that will have to be addressed when you submit your application. And, so Claire has recorded those, and then, likely a hydrologist report we would get our own consultant to review the data that you're providing. And so I'm trying to give you all the cards to say, here's what questions I will ask, at least when that comes to bear.
I would point to the letter, which must not have made it into the record.
No, it did. I don't just have it right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm sure we saw it, but it was a while ago,
So it was 2 weeks ago. It was
more than a few weeks ago.
whenever it was
Yeah.
scheduled. I sent it in at the end of the
Yeah,
conference.
I mean, if anything comes in, it gets distributed to the
I
entire
think
board, so.
if you read that through and see the history of both this site and the groundwater sampling, I think you'll reasonably science-based reasonably, you'd say, no, I understand there's a concern of exposing groundwater. I understand that, it makes sense. They're just as concerned as everybody here because if a problem happens there, they're shut down. So they've done all this sampling for years and provided. It's cost a small fortune. The DEC program, the voluntary program, it's over $100,000 a year. We brought in the records last time. It's 8,000 pages of data.
It's the planning board won't consider that unless they actually take, this goes forward and it's a secret, we will look at it, you'll look at it comprehensively, but that issue about the amortization will be the ZBA.
Yeah,
when
I mean,
the
that's,
application gets
to
in.
me, I'll echo what was just said, in that I think understanding how the town is addressing the amortization for sand mines in general, and then specifically for this piece of property, I personally think we need an answer to that as part of the formal application, because I think that may affect what you can do and what we should be looking at.
I think the report captures that. to a certain degree.
We haven't
Do you wanna
gone through it, so.
Yeah, do you want to say that under sandmines? Do you say
On
the
item
planning
4,
board?
maybe augment that.
Yeah.
Because this is very preliminary, this is, pre-submission.
This is
So
pre-submission.
The issues that were raised here are gonna be examined
In
in
detail.
greater
Yeah,
detail.
when we get
Yeah,
the
when we
but
get
I-
the formal
But I think
application.
you've heard 2 planning board members echoing
Yeah.
that question, so.
Mhm. Yeah. So it's just an outline.
And it is useful, to have these pre-conference, pre-submission conferences, because you're saying, look, like, we've already put a lot of money into this, we want to know what we're in for if we're going to move ahead with this application. And so in fairness, it may not be the news that you want, but I think it's very fair to say, I'm not going to surprise you later with this, these are the questions that we need answered. And,
Absolutely, we respect,
This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right, this is,
I'm kind of sensitive to the time, you've got sort of the Damocles hanging over your application with these expiring credits. And you have to have shovel-ready projects ready to go.
But we're hoping to get phase 1, so to be, I don't know exactly how those are gonna play out, but right now, we have to have construction started by, I believe, next April.
Yeah.
And
If it doesn't
arguably, our
change.
construction's already started, and we can, by next April, we'll be floating panels, and they'll be in.
That's the intent.
Right now, yeah, that's when we went to the phase plan. It took us a while. Once we were told, no, you can't have a 4-year window, or elapse after 2 years, I think you said, Claire. So we went back to the engineers, Steve went back with D3, and they redesigned it to do it in 2 phases, which are what are reflected in this map. The north ramp they'll be able to finish the north, construct and place the panels on the north side and hook up. That'll be by next year. And then,
This part
You
of
need
the
to submit your
project, I think, is
application.
wonderful.
but I'm just saying, and then we had, this is what was all designed and is in your records now, and then then bring the dredge down, decommission out this way and put in that within, I think the timeline, which is in the materials we submitted you. What is it? The timeline.
Well, whatever it is, we're really dependent on some of the other decisions, right? We have to get some of the other decisions first.
Not really. You give us site plan approval and we'll go ahead and do this. And
We
we'll be,
haven't seen an
I just
application.
still don't understand the threshold of the DEC permit that is in place now.
as I said, the DEC permit is not a predicate to site plan approval. Once
No.
site
I'm
plan
asking you, how are we approving phase 1 of 7 acres when you can't have a pond of 7 acres yet? Because DEC hasn't approved it.
Because you're issuing a construction permit, you're issuing a site plan approval, and this is,
But it doesn't exist yet, or the DEC hasn't approved it yet.
on no site are all the ground conditions. There's cut and fill with every application you get for construction, isn't there?
How are you hiring a hydrogeologist to study a 7-acre pond that doesn't exist yet? Or 14-acre
And
pond?
just at this juncture, we're considering the pre-submission conference report. We don't even have an application to consider approving. So, right, you know what I'm saying? So today, really, our action is to,
We have a
we've
pre-
addressed all the issues that are in the report.
I think
And then,
completing the process is between the DEC and us. And right now, you're in a pre-submission conference.
Right.
You haven't, in our world,
There's
you have
no
application before us. You have an idea.
But what I'm wondering, are these maps in front of you?
If they're part of the record and you sent them in as part of your pre-submission packet, then they are in front of us.
Concepts.
This board
But
is
nobody's
just
looked
looking
at
at
it.
a
formally.
concept
Nobody's looked at it, got it.
and they're raising the questions, they're telling you up front. These are the questions we want answered before you make your actual application.
And this hasn't gone to the town engineer or any, or
Right,
or any
yeah.
technical people that are part of the town approval process.
So Claire, you'll be able to capture some of these.
Yeah, I'm
segments.
thinking, I'm adding some language that the planning board, the board would like to see a determination on the amortization from the ZBA prior to any application that you see.
right, so when you put your application in, addressing all the issues in Claire's report, we'll produce a complete application so that we could start the secret process and review it.
All right, so.
But we don't have that application completed yet to consider.
Are there any other items for the pre-submission
I mean, so yeah, basically, otherwise, I just point out it's in the Pine Barrens, Aquifer Protection, New York State archaeologically sensitive area. I don't know the extent of clearing to date and anything that's natural on the property. It's hard to tell on the plans. And then I just point out where the access is on the property through Evergreen Avenue, so.
So I think,
I now realize you don't have, part of this was we already had a mine plan that showed all this, showed the already affected area, and we're saying, well, we're not touching any trees, we're not doing anything. We've already got a permit for 5 acre lake, so we'll go forward with the process.
Yeah, that's fine, and we'll take it one
At
step at a
some
time.
point, the site plan which you offered, we may, very well take you up on,
Yeah.
going to visit the site. We may very well take you up on that.
I
can
think
do it
that
individually.
it's hard to look at this and understand what's there without being there. I know there's quorum rules and you have to go 1 or 2 at a
Yeah.
time or something. We'd be happy to help you out.
so with that amended language and clear, we can go ahead and adopt
You
this.
can adopt that, and I can give them a copy, so they have it to go
Motion
forward.
to adopt the pre-submission? Motion by Gloria, second by Kate. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks so much for coming in and slogging through with us. We get there. Are we going to go in order? Seth,
Oh, I'll email it to you. You got it.
and then Maynard. We're on item 8.
Here as well. Maynard Million.
Hello. Just get your name.
Oh, there it is.
Maynard.
Nice. Okay, so we're looking at in essence, it's a lot line, land transfer from one lot to another. That's going from 12 Red Creek to 10 Red Creek, 4,000, land transfer of 2,040 square feet. We had looked at this back in April. I had put together a report on this matter. We had tabled it at such time because I had, under the notion that the State's Park and Recreation had deemed this not worthy of a Phase 1B. And then we decided that the best, our town code requires it. So the applicant went back and hired Hartgen to conduct such a study, and that study concluded that there were no archaeological artifacts found and that it deemed it not worthy of further study. So that being said, we've passed the last hurdle for this application. We've had the public hearing back in January. We have looked at it, and we've also gone through the 292-39B for this application, as it is landward of Squires Pond. We made some recommendations to the Conservation Board, which they have approved, and we put together a conditional approval with those conditions.
And this is APOD.
Sorry?
This is APOD. Safe.
No, it's not.
It's not, okay.
It's not, but it is in the wetland inventory, being within 200 feet of
Gotcha.
Squires Pond. So if it pleases the board, at this point, I would just like to read in the conditions that
Sure.
we had approved by the Conservation Board.
Okay.
So we will be, with approval, we're requiring the following covenants. They're listed on page 5. That there would be no further subdivision.
Wait, we only have 4 pages.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my report. My mistake.
We're on the,
Yeah.
We're on the
Yeah, approval.
Yeah, no, that's 3.
resolution.
Yeah, so be it further resolved, I was calling out the covenants at the bottom of page 3, that there would be no further subdivision or lot line modification unless approved by the planning board, that there would be 3-inch drainage for all future impervious surfaces, including roofs, driveways, and tennis courts, that a minimum buffer zone of 50 feet to the west of the rear lot line, so that would be Anthony's pointing out there, prohibiting turf fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, or similar treatments, landscaping or other clearing or disturbance of natural vegetation, inclusive of excavation and/or deposition of fill. So this is that lot 2, 50-foot buffer. And then the standard setbacks, minimum of 125 feet, setbacks for structures inclusive of driveways and at grade, patios or decks or other accessory structures. A minimum of 150-foot setback for future wastewater disposal and/or sanitary systems, and that would apply to both Lot 1 and 2, 12 and 10, Red Creek. The installation of leaders and gutters and other stormwater control devices, project limiting fencing consisting of hay bales and silt fencing, and that the applicant shall notify current planning within 24 hours in advance of the construction for Lot 2.
So I'm just looking at the square footage. The two pieces together are about 40 or 52,000 square feet.
Yes, one being 40,000. Let me check my numbers and get the
And
right.
so-
The one to the north is 40,625, and the one to the south is 11,516.
So 2,000 is going to the 11.5. So
Yes.
it'll be still considerably less than half acre.
It
It's a
is.
substandard lot.
Yeah.
It is.
But we're not creating that lot. This has already
No, you're
been,
not.
Exactly.
So just so the board knows, they got a single and separate determination
Yes.
from the ZBA. So that second lot exists at 11,000 square feet.
Okay, so it's a pre-existing
So it's a pre-existing.
substandard lot.
And we're just making it a little bit better,
Bigger.
actually.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the setbacks and they're fairly robust for such a small lot.
It's true. Correct. So, yeah, I guess that's.
Okay. Got-
Standard conditions?
We have the gist.
Very good. Do we have motion for approval? Motion by Gloria, second by Tom, all in favor, aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony, are you gonna jump in on Cedar Field?
That one's off the agenda.
Okay, item 9 is off.
So is item 10.
Item 10 is off. Very good, keep going.
Yeah.
How about the Nathan?
Nathan's Topping Cook
That's,
family.
I'm going to do that, but let me let my colleagues do the applicants first. Number 12 is also off the agenda.
12 is off. Do you have applicants here? Or,
And I'll let the
well,
board.
Claire's here. Sorry.
Who's next?
Waterville Building Supply, that's to assume lead agency on that one. The ZBA relinquished lead agency at their last meeting, so that's, and also I think you'd want to hire a traffic consultant to review the traffic on that one, so I'll solicit, I'll solicit the,
The usual cast of
That's-
characters.
Usual stuff.
on that one, and we'll have that hopefully at the next meeting or the one after.
So right now, our resolution is just the
Assume
lead,
agency.
just lead agency. Do we have a motion? Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, and 2
Sorry.
absent.
That's all right, thank you.
You're good to go, thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry for the wait.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, Claire, you're up here, you might as well, is there anything?
Yeah, I have,
25 Sandy Hollow?
at 25 Sandy Hollow. So that is to deem an application complete.
I've been looking at that for like several years, it seems.
25 Sandy Hollow?
I think so. I may be exaggerating slightly, but I know I've seen this a bunch of times. Am I right?
Yes. That's right,
That's a cottage.
right where you're making the bend to get
Yeah.
onto 39. That,
Isn't that where those statues
Snowman
are?
is there, right?
No, no,
different spot.
The snowman.
this is the cottage complex.
Snowman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adjacent to the cottage.
Adjacent to the-
Yes.
This is the former auto radiator repair.
Oh, Swedes, oh,
And it's got all the mature landscaping and
it's going back. You see the steam, you chug your way over the Swedes. There it is.
All on my desk. No, I did it.
Will you just identify yourself for the audio if you
We
could?
can speak and I can run down and get it. I had, for documents. that I had done for this. This is to consider secret. And the thing that I don't have it right here. I know where it's sitting on my desk, so I'll do that. Or you guys want to go to another thing that might be quick?
We'll be here.
Go back in order.
I'll wait.
Okay. Seth, I think we jumped over a couple of your, go to number 14, your
Sure.
49.
Caldwell Homes.
Caldwell Homes,
Is
okay.
the next one up then?
Yep,
Okay.
item 14.
Okay. And so this is Caldwell Homes, lot 14, 49 Birchwood.
Thank you.
In Bridgehampton. Off the turnpike.
This is found in the R20 and the APOD. This lot came under construction with a brand new home. And during construction, it was 100% cleared. So they were informed early on in the process that there was some overclearing going on. And they took it upon themselves to start the revegetation as they were building. And then they brought in the finalized revegetation plan when they had finished construction. So I had to work with them because it was a work done. It was a bit of a complicated scenario, as of course they're now at the CO stage.
So
I
now
did update their revegetation plan they had missed particularly the putting in any grasses. So I had made them go out and redo their revegetation plan. They do show that they had achieved the 10,000, in fact, 10,175 feet of square foot of revegetation with white oaks, inkberries, blueberries, and I had asked them to add Pennsylvania sedge as well.
So
So
it's all been
been
planted.
done.
It's all been planted because they
Yeah.
want to sell the house.
yeah, I mean, I was literally getting surveys showing that it was in compliance. So it was a tricky situation to get this whole thing figured out and done.
Okay.
But we're there. I'd like to see how it all turned out, and
So you haven't been
I
physically,
have to do
you haven't
well, I
been,
have to have the re-veg plan.
okay.
I have been, but I have not been since we've done a new plan.
Okay, so
They're approving the plan.
we approve this pending your,
Yes, there's always
Physical
there's
approval.
always a site inspection.
yeah, because a lot of times it's after the fact. Okay, yeah.
Okay, motion to approve, motion by Gloria, second by Kate, all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed,
Aye.
abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. And Seth, did you want to jump in forward?
I might as well. So yes, another parcel located in the APOD. This is 465 Middle Line Highway. Rick is here to represent the applicant.
Great.
Rick Wisnowski, the Rainer Group, 860 Montauk Highway.
Great.
So yeah, this parcel is located in the CR 200. It's approximately 4.8 acres or 212,385 square feet. The bulk of which is 200,000. So they are allowed 15% clearing or 30,000 square feet. This parcel had cleared 42,935, approximately 21.47%. The application was originally submitted in August 14th of 23. So this one has been kicking around with construction. It became a multi-phase project where the house was built. There was some clearing, some over-clearing. They had come in, they had filed then. They had started a revegetation, at which point there was another application to move forward with the tennis court. I had been in touch with the applicant, so we had granted them permission to go ahead and get the tennis court done as well so that we could finalize this entire thing. So it became a two-phase kind of revegetation. In hindsight, I'm going to probably not want to do that much more. It got really complicated as this thing was starting, stopping. At any rate, they had started, then they stopped. So I had to look over two different revegetation plans in this instance, both of which accounted for the final, the required revegetation of the.
6%.
Yeah, exactly. So after going round and round, we had managed to figure out exactly what was put in the ground and what else needed to be put in the ground. Thankfully, Rick came on board to help smooth this out,
Okay.
and we achieved what was necessary.
So essentially, we're just approving the
Again,
plan.
another revegetation plan. It was a two-part plan, yeah. But there is one plan that shows both parts together.
Okay.
And you're good with the final?
Yes, and I have a good array of different plants: shadbush, white and scarlet oak, dogwoods, hollies. It runs the gamut because it was done in two different forms, in fact. So it is a nice plan at the end of the day.
Okay, very good. We motion to approve? Tom?
Motion.
By Tom and second by Gloria, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Thanks for coming in. Claire, do you want to jump back to Sandy?
I guess there's people
Thank you.
waiting here
Oh.
that just want a hearing date set, I guess.
Set a hearing?
Right, it's number 16 on
16, 45?
45.
Sorry for the wait.
Full education today.
There'll be a test afterwards.
I'm nosy, I like it. You might see me here more often.
You can watch it on the internet too.
You're gladly glad you stuck
to the
like the
audio
rest of
record.
us.
Haley Greger, 37 Squiretown Road, Hampton Bays.
Brian Greger, same place.
Great.
This is a pre-submission application to set the conference, pre-submission conference date for September 11th, I believe is the availability.
Yep.
But it's this, there's some elevations here.
Thank you.
It's one of those back.
This is a light industrial building? is that it?
Yeah, it's an LI 40. It's that property just north of the railroad station in Bridgehampton. This was actually before in February, but it was deemed incomplete. We were lacking building elevations, and since then the owners have redesigned the footprint a little bit, or redesigned the building, and they have elevations as well. So we have everything we need. And the proposal is to demolish the existing truck and equipment repair shop and replace it with a new metal building, about 70 or a little less than 7,400 square feet, to warehouse and store, I guess, your drilling equipment.
Well,
pad,
drilling
dragger welder.
equipment.
Right, and this is in the industrial park there, the
Yep.
little,
Yep,
It
right
is.
behind Wright and Company.
okay.
Yeah, yep.
And the use, I believe, will be a special trade contractor, or which is special exception use. The site's a little over a half acre, so it's a bit constrained. And the applicants, the owner knows that they'll have to go before the ZBA to get some zoning relief. But I don't know if you want to present anything further, or if the board has any questions.
You know what, when the property came up, the most important thing for us was interior storage for our equipment. And with the LI 40, you're allowed 30% coverage. We stayed in that. It's just with the size equipment that I need to be able to pull into the building, I need to shift the building. I've laid it out 10 different ways. This gives me the best access to back a truck and trailer in, and while conforming with size of building to property.
Keep all of this equipment in Bridgehampton, not have to haul it up and down the North Highway at 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Exactly. You know, we were.
You can take our train out in the morning and walk to your building.
That's a sales pitch
Drilling
right
rigs,
there.
right?
You know, I live in Sagaponic, but most of our stuff's in Ham Bays.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can get to Ham Bays easy in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
Coming back out a little bit.
Not so much.
So we were lucky to know who owned the property before us, and that's, you know.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
you're gonna figure out your, like you were saying, it might be tight, and you're gonna have to figure out your internal circulation,
Well, that's
make
what I've
sure
been
it's
doing.
all
I've measured trucks,
Right.
you know.
turning radiuses and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is a shared, the entrance has to be through the shared easement, that comes through. So that's why the building is on the side where it is. It can't be on the other side because of the easement that's there.
Fortunately for us, we know everybody who owns on the road. I've went to them with the plans. I've gotten letters of support. You know, as you can see, it's no eye candy right now.
Yeah,
So
I
I think
heard.
everybody's excited to see something change.
Yes.
It's a good spot. So our action then is to deem this complete.
May I?
Oh, sorry.
Some sort of environmental stuff, are you thinking about solar? Are you gonna have heat, you're heating the system,
I'm
building?
doing,
Like,
right
can you-
now, I've proposed, the color of the building is gonna be, we don't know yet. The roof I've asked to do black because we were thinking about doing solar panels on it. I do geothermal, so we were thinking about trying to
right,
do
you're
a
well
little
done.
bit of geothermal for it.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
as,
I'm putting my 2 cents in on, let's make this a green building if you can.
Yeah, well,
It's gonna be beneficial for you,
Exactly.
energy cost-wise.
You know, the trusses that I've asked for can hold the weight, so the building will be designed and built to handle solar panels. We're just going through all the, I guess, what we have to do, you know, the insulation, the windows,
So this will be for scheduling.
The pre-submission.
Yeah.
process.
Right.
Did you have a date?
We
No,
have
no,
it penciled in for
November 11th.
September 11th. I think you said that date works.
So our action then is to deem the application complete, set pre-submission conference date for September 11th.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'll
Motion? Motion by Kate,
Second.
second by Gloria, and all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions?
Thank you.
We'll see you on the 11th. Sorry about the wait.
No, that might have been a record time for us.
Yes.
And you'll work,
Yes.
you'll work on the interior, the, parking and the interior
Yeah, I
circulation,
already
because you know
started,
that's
yeah.
gonna,
And the
it's always tough on a lot like this. Yeah.
Thank
Relief, so
Right.
there's a lot of layers going on.
Thanks, evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again.
We just maybe have one more set of those back.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Here you go.
We'll need them again when we do this report, so it'll be
Yeah,
good to have.
don't let them get thrown out.
Do you want to jump back to 25? 25 Sandy Hollow, we're going back to item 17. Okay, we'll get these distributed for you.
It was, except then somebody grabbed me and wanted.
Oh, yeah, you can never get out of it.
I can never leave.
It's like
Okay. So, this is the property, on Sandy Hollow that was a car repair place and now is going to be a landscaper. They followed everything with the pre-submission conference. And they also provided, and I had it with me, but I put it downstairs, is the full, environmental, assessment on the property. So it said there was no recommendations for anything, but I did, in that packet, the last page is that, his conclusion letter, so you can see it for yourself. You want one more copy? I have.
Okay. What was the name of that cottage complex years ago? Green?
Next door.
No.
I don't know either.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we did the building back here. Site plan this.
Right, the one that had the little accessory building or something?
Yeah, back here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
These
garage.
were the old kit buildings from the Sears or Macy's kit houses.
So, what's before you is a secret determination, recommendation for a negative declaration, and, to schedule a public hearing because it is a special exception use.
Do you have a hearing date?
I have also September 11th, that would be the 3rd? That's the 3rd, yep.
So it's one resolution to adopt a negative
Mhm.
declaration and set it's a completeness,
Mhm.
and set hearing date for September 11th. Do we have a motion? Motion by Gloria and David, you're on the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions? 5 yes. Anthony, did you want to do Mr.
18
Gaza?
is next, actually.
What's
right?
that?
Claire.
Do we have any other applicants here, other than?
18 is
Oh.
off.
I was gonna say. We gotta wait for the traffic to build up a little more, Joe. Hill Street is still moving now, we have to.
Just
No, it's not.
on 94 Dune Road, that's the Dockers application. I only put it on to get authorization for the planning board to put out some requests for consultants to take us through the final environmental impact statement and finding statement. So I just wanted that authorization, and I'll come back with some proposals for the board's consideration.
So you need
So
a
do
motion?
you need a resolution?
We do, right, Claire, to authorize?
Oh, I think you just need direction.
Good,
That's what I
that's all I
did.
needed.
Hire somebody.
Go hire somebody, perfect.
Well, we're gonna get some estimates, right?
Yes.
Word estimates.
So what's going on? Now I have, we have Joe here for the
Joe
last two, I
for the
believe, so let's
profile
get.
map.
I
Was
have.
this abandonments?
Yeah, let me, Joe
Come
can
on up,
go
Joe.
there.
What about,
You may.
Good afternoon,
You got
board
all your
members.
materials with you?
Joseph Gaza, 5 Ogden Lane in Quogue. Very simple matter today, which is
Hold on, let me
unusual
pull
for
it up,
me.
though.
it never is with you, Joe.
I'm gonna try to keep it very simple. I'm involved with an old filed map near the dump in Southampton known as Peconic Shores. And I have, my daughter has this green parcel, which is a topic for another day to discuss whether it's a building lot or not. But I have been trying to purchase every other vacant lot on the map, Peconic Shores, for their development rights, so that I can bring them over. And I was successful in buying this little 100 by 100 piece shown in pink. And my application before you today is to abandon that portion of a paper street, half of it, next to the lot.
What's the road on the top of your map?
This is Great Hill Road,
Okay.
and this is the town landfill over
Okay,
here.
all right.
Okay.
Just-
Okay. Right up on the map. So the little piece of street, it's half of a street, which would be 25 feet by 100 feet. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it gives me another 2,500 square feet of development rights.
Sure.
And as soon as I accumulate up to 200,000, I'll be good to go.
And they're Southampton rights, Joe,
It's
right?
Southampton rights,
Yeah.
which are very difficult to obtain.
Yeah.
Worth a lot.
So that's why I'm here,
Helps us
appearing
get
before you
things
this
open.
afternoon.
Just clarify for the board, because this is a development section map that the board, opened up. This portion or this road is shown not to be abandoned, to be improved, but I think conditions have changed. I know because Wayne's paying attention because he has a client. I forgot which property, who's gonna wanna do the same thing. I just wanna make sure that nobody's access is being cut off.
Well,
That was
that's, I
my
was just
question.
gonna ask.
All
yeah,
we need
that
to know.
Correct. So on this little bit larger map, it shows my daughter's parcel, and this is the small piece, the
Right.
100 by 100 that I want to abandon, this little piece of street. And Mr. Bruin's client, Mr. Deegan, is the owner of this development parcel, and he takes access off of Albert Avenue. And the lot to the south, which is DG, Mr. DG, that's his name, he takes access off of Albert Avenue.
Albert, yeah.
And as you can see, the westerly portion of this street has already been abandoned. Okay. It used to serve another lot that was in here. This lot over here, which was owned by Mr. Broidy, but he sold it to the town for preservation. So there's no longer access needed for this lot. And of course, the west end was already abandoned.
Where is Dupree in there? Is Dupree?
Dupree is
Way in.
He's down there.
This is Mr. Dupree's house.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
And he's coming off of Albert as well.
He comes
Yeah.
off of Albert and then
Okay.
does a little loop
Albert's
around.
open and
Yeah.
heavily used. So, Anthony, did you see any issues?
I didn't. I raised the question initially because I only go to the old file map. to
We
see
always,
what's
yeah.
approved.
we always do.
But I also spoke to Dave Wilcox about this, who sent
Yeah.
in this direction. I just wanted to make sure that no other lots needed
Is
this
it
road.
appropriate, this Mr. DG, who is now gonna have title, I guess, to 25 feet of a
His
road?
hand, Yeah.
Well, he'd have to come
If
in.
he's impacted in some way? I
Does he
mean,
automatically receive title? No.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
The southern, once you abandon one
Wouldn't he
side,
have to abandon it?
he'd have to come in for the abandonment, right?
No, not.
Is this precluding him from doing something in some way, or
No, he has
hindering him?
access to the property, not from this street, from another
Yeah,
street.
but he could abandon.
It doesn't stop him from abandoning it either if he
Yeah,
wants.
No, but I'm saying he'd have to come in to abandon it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
He doesn't mean, okay.
It's a $300 application fee now to do a little abandonment. It used to be free.
Yeah.
We gotta make, it helps our tax.
Gas used to be
our tax
45
base.
cents a gallon. Let's go.
Mr. Bruin, who's here, represents the Mr. Deegan, which is this parcel right here.
Correct.
And you might want to comment on Mr. Deegan's.
Well, I think Mr. Deegan will want to do the same thing for again, his half, the
Remaining
northerly
portion.
half, as you're suggesting.
Yeah.
Gentlemen on the southerly half. The only issue, and Joe colored this green, is that parcel there is owned by the county of Suffolk, and they don't participate in any
Right,
air abandonments. And so that southerly half of the road could be abandoned on the portion that is adjacent on the west over here by this
Yeah.
gentleman. But I think the southerly half would have to be, we can't get the county, so that southerly half up to the county parcel has to sort of remain there unless
That's
the
gonna
county
sit there, yeah.
joined in some abandonment at some point.
Yeah, otherwise they'd be
I
landlocked.
mean, I was just, yeah, so the county property can be accessed from something
Albert
the left side.
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah,
And
they'd have
25.
Probably just a
Right,
trail,
but if
foot trail.
that other gentleman comes in and asks for abandonment, then nobody can get to the county land.
Anthony, how
Can
do
we get
we,
that for tax?
Oh, that's the next
Probably in the past, and then they probably
Oh,
put it in
common
their,
choice.
To
park
se-
preserve.
Park Preserve?
Or do they use it for like water or
Well, when the county gets land now and it's in the Aquifer Protection Overlay District, they don't sell it at auction anymore.
No.
Yeah, no, well, that's,
Keeping it
They
all
just keep
for
it.
preservation.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with this one.
Yeah.
And it happened with a couple pieces on this map that I've been trying to buy all the lots to get the rights, and I find out that they either have no rights because they've been lifted off, or the county has them and they're preserved.
Yeah.
You can see on this map, all this green is already preserved land.
there's a lot of trails in there.
A lot of
Beautiful.
trails, a lot of preservation, a lot of
Beautiful land.
small lots that have been
Yeah.
taken for
Yeah.
preservation.
Right,
Yeah,
and that's
if you're
a
familiar
odd
with
tiny
the
little
area.
lot
Did
there.
you submit a formal documents, application documents for approval?
Yes, I submitted by letter to the board. I may pay the application fee. It went through Mr. Wilcox first, then it went to Mr. Trezor, and
And now back, here
I
you
got
are.
them before your board this afternoon.
So Anthony, how do we handle abandonment? Do we just adopt a resolution authorizing the abandonment?
Yeah, it would be an authorizing the abandonment of a portion of Vincent Street for the tax map number 900-78.1-2-9. There's no street address.
And this
Right.
doesn't, highway or town board has no involvement in this?
Nope, just the town planning board.
Good, all right. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria.
Thank you.
And I got Dave on the second.
You'll see our application.
And we have 5 in favor and 2 absent, bless you. And
Thank you.
Joe, hit the road quick. Come on,
You're gonna be in
pedal
traffic.
to the metal.
The
Yeah,
next
you'll be in traffic.
application is 500.
Thank you for the opportunity,
See you, Joe.
Joe.
Yep.
Thank
Wayne,
you.
thanks for your help.
Motion side map, CBA
Who's
referral.
here? Claire's here, everyone's here. Do you want to, I guess we'll just jump back. Do you guys have another application, Drazy's?
Drazers is off.
Drazy's of item 18 is off.
We're not building any tents.
Do you have any walk-ons? or-
Yes, I have the Lewis Road walk-on.
You want to do the walk-on?
Yes. You can do that.
Okay, what's the name of the walk-on?
Lewis Road?
Lewis Road Walk-on. You know that project well.
If you want to know better, Jessica's here.
Great.
She would
Hi, Jessica.
continue an invitation if you want to go up and see the progress.
Oh, Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 months, that might
Yeah,
make
it's
sense.
been a while.
I'd love to
Yeah.
have you come. It looks amazing. So in short, I think Wayne is here to discuss the timing of the workforce housing. So as you had considered and approved this subdivision and site plan, there was requirements with the subdivision in the form of a covenant that the workforce housing was to be completed prior to the 31st CO being issued for the at market rate projects. And that was also translated as a condition of the site plan approval. So those, if there was going to be difference, that have to be modified in the form of a modification of the covenant and a modification to the site plan
So we need
condition.
a +1 vote from the board.
Yes, majority +1. For other covenants.
Yes.
The modification to the site plan condition would be
But they kind of.
the normal vote. Yes, so the request before you is to move that, because of the timing, the workforce housing has not commenced. The building, though a building permit's been issued for it, it is not commenced. And so anything takes a year or so, and they would like their 31st COs sometime next year, right, mid next year?
Yeah, if you want us to
Yeah, go ahead.
provide some explanation. Wayne Bruin on behalf of DLV Quag, the applicants on the Lewis Road, as well as Jessica Insulaco, representative of Discovery. We submitted a letter in June and then again, 2 letters. One when Claire helped us clarify what exactly this request is and what application fees were necessary. She gave us that guidance and we provided that to the board yesterday as far as the fees are concerned. With respect to the request, the condition, as Claire had mentioned, was that we would not be able to get our 31st CO unless and until the 12-unit workforce rental housing was actually constructed and completed. We obtained a building permit in May of '24 for that. However, since that time, one of the things that Discovery realized is the need for additional workforce housing, particularly for some of its employees. So discussions have been held with various town officials, Janice, et cetera, about what other opportunities might there be to add additional workforce housing on the property. And to do so may require modification, your board's review, Pine Barrens Health Department.
Site plan and.
Exactly. So those discussions have been taking place, and there's a number of alternatives as far as how it could be laid out, how many units, and also what the process may be. The problem that we've now encountered is that to actually construct the current approved building would take about 18 months, is on the average right now. It'd take about 18 months. And if we started today, we wouldn't be done for another 18 months. The problem is we have 40 plus building permits already issued and units being constructed. We're ready for the first few COs this fall, and probably be ready for our 31st CO next summer. And that will put us in a position where, we're in this situation where we don't know how or where we won't be able to go forward with the other COs, because even if we started today on the building, we wouldn't have time to do that. More importantly, though, is we think there's an opportunity for the town and our project to get additional workforce housing here. We're not exactly sure how it is, but we want some opportunity and would ask the board to at least give us some opportunity to do that. In the discussions, we were told that the best way to do this is to ask for an amendment and change that condition to a point where we would be allowed additional COs up to the number 59. That's what I think.
Out of a total of how many?
118.
Okay.
So half.
And we're not going away, as you know.
That gives you time to.
That'll give us time. Like I said, we only have 40-some building permits at this point, and it's taking a little over a year. What is it? Almost, again, 12 to 15 months to construct the units.
Yeah.
So even if we started on the others to get to 59, it would give us enough time to do that. That work and so what we're looking for is just the opportunity to continue to explore, particularly with this board, what can we do and what might be the process. There's a number of processes that could take place And I don't want to get into details, or if you want, we can talk about those. But I think the key is what we want is that further opportunity to work with you to find a way, if possible, to get more workforce housing. And if it's not successful, the worst case scenario, in our opinion, would be that we're going to construct the approved 12-unit building.
I guess a comment and a half. I certainly would want the 12 to be workforce housing, not for Discovery employees.
Oh, absolutely. Part of our proposal would be that is a set aside.
The second half of that is build more.
Yeah.
Do you envision building it in that original structure, or maybe, or?
Jessica has been part of the discussions about various plans, and she can probably address that a little bit, but there's been alternatives, various alternatives that include probably what you're thinking.
Yeah. Jessica Insulaco for Discovery.
These mics are pretty good. You don't have to lean in.
Okay. So we looked at the existing footprint of the approved building, and it's kind of inefficient the way it's laid out. And so we contacted our golf-related architect, Tony Panza. I think you guys see Tony a lot. He has constructed different types of buildings that are more efficient, including some that are being built right now at Southampton Country Club. And so we can get essentially 2 buildings in the same footprint. Instead of something kind of big and boxy, it would be 2 narrower in pretty much the same footprint. And instead of in that particular place on that one workforce housing lot, we can get up to 48 beds instead of 20. I mean, it's significant.
And define what you mean by efficient.
I mean, so in the buildings that Tony's designed, for example, they are a mix of different kind of types of rooms. So there's like traditional 1-bedrooms with kitchens and baths, things like that. And then there's other ones that are more like your own room, your own bed with an accommodation, but maybe you're sharing a kitchen, with other people.
That's generally
that sort of thing
for golf staff.
Right. So he's laid out things like that.
So that would be for your Discovery
That could
employees?
be staff people.
Okay.
And then we also have a couple of lots right in East Quogue that we haven't developed. They're 2 half-acre lots right off of Old Country. They're literally, you could probably throw a rock and hit the school. So they're very conveniently located. They're undeveloped wooded lots right now that we could construct on those. So we have kind of a mix of ways to get there, to get to the number or maximize the number we can, working with you. So it's really, we just we needed the time to be able to get the runway to go come and work with you and say, okay, here's the different options we have and see what you guys think.
The 2 lots that you mentioned would require zoning change?
Nope. Nope. They're regular lots next to regular houses in East Quogue.
Single-family homes.
Single-family homes.
So you would build single-family
We could build
homes?
those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or duplex, you could build a duplex.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Could we do like a nice house with a good size accessory apartment?
ADU.
Things like that.
Like we did in Bridgehampton, Turnpike. So, yeah, that's exciting.
There's a number of alternatives.
Yeah.
The key, though, is to do exactly what you said, Gloria, and is to provide more opportunity for workforce housing in some form.
Right.
And the only key here is this timing. If we were to fulfill our obligations with the people that are already purchased and building units, we need to at least get some time to explore this other option.
Right. So
the covenant says majority +1, as you say. It does not require a hearing. I would recommend a hearing in this case. Of the modification.
It's this whole project has just been too.
And I don't think that, the hearing open, hear what they have to say, closed, you consider it, they're still within their time period, if you consider the 59.
Yeah, the only thing I would just add to this conversation is a couple things. One is, in general, the sort of noise around this project is done. I mean, no one is I mean, I'm not, and I usually hear it from people. So there's very little discussion anymore. I think people have moved on. Everything's built. The golf course is built. There's no construction noise behind Spinney Road Homes anymore. It's nothing. STP's built. I mean, it's pretty well, on its way. And our neighbor to the neighboring property for this workforce housing lot is East Quogue Cemetery. So it's, there's no
There will be no
proximate
dead
neighbors.
people here.
No one cares. There's no one near where this location is. So that's the only thing I'd modify.
The lot owners in the map all want their COs at some point, so they're not,
Yeah.
there's nobody in the map that is going to object.
You've, I mean, the public hearing, Claire, is that something you think is necessary?
I would recommend the public hearing.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
recommending public
it'll be an easy public hearing then.
Yeah.
If there's no noise, there's no noise.
Yeah,
At least
but
we
that
give
way
opportunity.
Nobody can say we didn't know
No,
about
I
it.
understand it. We're just up against a wall in terms
Yeah.
of time.
Right.
Well, what's the time
When can
frame?
we set that?
Anyway, in terms of the golf housing, we don't have.
No, we're not
Right.
Right.
presenting
Not
any of
ready
that.
for
This
that.
is just for the.
No, it's just the extension.
change.
Just the amendment to the.
Once you close the hearing, we could act at the next meeting.
Yeah, there's no time frames.
Do you have, can we set that today?
You could say it today, if you'd like.
Want to do the 11th?
September 11th.
That would be the
11th
4th.
work?
That would be the 4th.
So our resolution then is so we have a complete application for the covenant amendment.
How are we going to phrase this?
And it's a site plan condition. We have that
Okay,
also.
ready? On so-and-so date, the planning board. No, you won't help me with the language. I'll be fine.
Got it?
So it's a planning board approved a site plan and subdivision on December 8th, 2022.
Yep.
And condition of approval was to require the workforce housing to be built and CO'd prior to the 31st. And the applicant has requested a modification of that to the 59th. And so it would be a hearing on both the site plan amendment and the modification of the covenant.
Okay.
Nothing about in order
And
to
then we're gonna
increase workforce housing or anything like that. Nothing in there about the purpose.
Right.
It just very simply says that, workforce housing is required.
We have the fee and everything else, so we have a complete application.
Yes,
And then
we have
that-
the two
So
pieces.
you just need a resolution to set it for September 11th. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Dave, second by Gloria. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? We have 5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you.
Thanks
Hey,
so
thank
much.
you guys very much.
Sorry about the wait.
No, thank you. Appreciate you seeing us.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, of course. And the
Enjoy the
door's
traffic.
always open. You guys want to come and see it because it is really, mature and beautiful.
Move
And I
along.
think you guys weren't there. I don't think houses were being built when you came
No,
last time.
no,
so
it's-
There was just like those towers to get
Yeah.
a sense of the
Sandy
second
Hollow.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandy Hollow?
So whenever you have time, I can take any two
Sandy
of
Hollow,
you.
that one right there.
2 or 3,
Oh.
whatever you want.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks again. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jessica.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Did you want to go in
Yes,
order?
I
Do
just
you
have the
We
Nathan
just have
Topping
one
Cookhouse and then my
left.
football.
Oceanside, ZBA referral.
We're gonna do Anthony first and then I'll do that last.
Anthony, where are you taking us?
Number 11 is just the Nathan Topping Cook.
Oh, yeah, I'm good with that. Oh, yikes.
So we have a public hearing coming up for landmarking. It's the Nathan Topping Cook Family Home. It's on Hayground Road in Bridgehampton. Have it up here. What a view. North of the railroad tracks there. I'm not sure if Dave sent everybody the landmarks report. I just took this today. So the landmarks board put together a nice 40-page report.
We usually get those. I don't remember
Yeah, I don't
seeing it.
remember seeing it.
Okay, I will send
I
it
know
to
the house.
everybody. I thought Dave sent it.
On the way to
Time
two.
Where
too.
is this?
This one's not till September. So if you want us to resend it to you and look at it before you do it, I mean, I think you'll support it,
Right.
but I
It's
mean.
always
it's
good
up to you.
reading.
I mean, I can send it to you and then we could put it on next time if you want.
Okay, why don't we do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that's September, I think it was September, don't you?
Hold on, it is.
Is that on Butter Lane or
Tell you right
something?
now.
Mitchell Lane? Oh,
There you
Hayground.
go.
Everybody got- we got it.
Plenty of time.
I know the house. It's on the way to Two Trees.
Oh, okay.
You can see on the top right, the cul-de-sac.
Oh,
That's part of it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go, there's.
There you go. We know that property.
I just made that reference.
It all comes back now.
Okay.
And just real quick, I had the one, walk on, it was 2297 Montauk LLC.
Okay.
We got, that's a Farrell office building in that cluster near, on the highway there in
Yes.
Bridgehampton. They're before the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, that's,
Okay,
the
so
one-
we're doing a report on them?
that's clear, so this is new, this
This
is,
is new, yeah,
sorry.
Okay,
And tell
this is
me
the
again
walk-on.
where it is.
It's 2297 Montauk LLC, 2297 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton. It's an office building with apartments. This board
Yes, in the back,
reviewed it.
on Church Lane.
On Church Lane.
Okay, got it.
And so they're before the zoning board. The zoning board's coordinated secret, so our action is just to advise the ZBA we'd like to be lead agency on this project.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Did we do that by resolution?
Yep.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
By Gloria, second by Kate, all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes. Now was the second walk-on.
Let me just make sure here.
I think we're good. Just the
Are
Oceanside.
we doing a ZBA for Oceanside?
Yeah.
What could they possibly be asking?
This
ZBA?
is Joe Gaza.
Oh, no. He left?
And he left. We don't invite them to the ZBA.
Oh.
There's no invite.
You must have known it's on. I'm surprised.
I told him no.
Oh, you told him, you showed him the door.
Tell them there's another application fee.
Make more copies of that, but if you want to pass it down.
Oh,
it
this
was-
is, okay.
Yeah,
is
this
the one.
was the development section that we had been wrestling with for a little bit.
I thought the town was looking to buy this.
They were, and they can't buy it because there's no access.
There's no access.
Yeah, the town won't buy it. There's no access.
Isn't it Montauk Highway? Doesn't back up to Montauk Highway? No?
They won't buy it.
But I thought Joe had an access agreement.
Well, he's
CPF
before the
will
zoning board right now, next week, for the 4-lot subdivision for zero frontage, and he's showing some type of easement.
Can't he secure that access at the ZBA and then sell it to the town?
No, that's not the issue. The issue is the access also gives the other guy the rights to go over it. And the CPF does not want to have
Oh, the
anything to do with
CBF,
it.
oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta,
Where is this?
I have it
This
up
is
here.
in
we looked at this a
Lane.
long time ago.
Peters Lane.
Okay. So
Yeah, it was, yeah, she's gonna bring it up.
It's up here. It's a-
So it's the one with the
Lost opportunity.
wetlands, the flooding, and then the access being the issues. So the access
This is the one.
proposed is,
This is
yeah,
Peters.
over
Yeah,
that.
that's to
Yep,
open it up
exactly.
or
This is
whatever.
Peters.
What do they want to
This
do with
is
this?
open. This is
He wants
Peters.
Joe Gaza wants a development section opened with 4 lots. There would be a 5th part of the map, which is north of there, but he gave it to the gentleman who owns the property with the access, but now will not have anything to do with each other because they hate each other now. So
And didn't we have a public hearing on some variation? Because
Yeah.
the neighbors in front showed up,
Yep.
right?
and
Right.
they will most likely show up now for this action. But you know, I just kind of outlined what my memory was, the issues on this, which is the action. It's they considered the 4 parcels as part of the opening of the development section, although not formally decided. Issues with the opening of the development section are access is proposed over an easement 30 foot wide over a residential parcel where access to subdivisions have direct frontage on a road, public or private, or fee title land strips to a road, not including all. And then number 2, the issue is not including all the lots, 5 in total. He even shows the 5 on this map, which he submitted to the ZBA, but in the application just discusses the 4.
Okay,
So
now-
I'm very confused.
Now I'm remembering this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they did. So I said that was an issue because when you open a development section, you can only open the entire thing. You've got to consider that this other lot is there. You cannot ignore it. Whether it's ascending or receiving or whatever it's going to be for, you can't ignore it. So that is a consideration. And then 3 is development proximity to wetlands, and 4 is development location within a flooding area. And then seeker-wise, I'm leaning towards this being unlisted because it would be a type 2 action if it was just an old file map, right? Because the map was already vetted.
Right.
But because the access is separate, I think it triggers it into an unlisted action for secret purposes.
Tom,
If
there's
there's
no
no
invited.
access.
Huh?
If there's no access, what could he do with it?
Its value is transfer of development.
Oh, it's the development rights again. Is this the same guy that was here? You mentioned this guy. Is that the
Yes.
right guy? I'm sorry. I don't know all the names of the characters. so I
You're,
didn't-
just so the board just remember, you're preparing comments to the ZBA, Joe's before the zoning board to try to get an easement, zero road frontage. Just yes, we're saying that he has no road frontage. What can he do with it? Well, we'll see what the zoning board says after they
Is it they
review it.
gave him, he might develop it.
Yeah, well, the
He wants
zoning
to
board's gonna
develop.
make a decision if they're gonna allow the 4 lots to have an easement to provide access to them.
An
That's what
easement
they're
through-
deciding. That's their only.
Easement through where?
This property, I believe, right here.
That property.
He made a deal with the property owner.
He swapped.
Oh, and that property owner has to agree to it though, right? They just can't
And they're
make
not-
an easement.
100%. Well, yeah.
I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised that he wasn't a party to the application with the ZBA. Wouldn't New Cat be?
He might be. I don't know.
He's not.
I'll take a look.
So, but I mean, that's the ZBA's business.
Yeah, well, the ZBA's, he just has to ultimately provide the legal documents. I don't know that they have to be a party to it. Nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like a monopoly game over in that
I
neighborhood.
know. Anything else? I think I just had the gist of it there. So I'm going to send that to the ZBA. We'll go from
Is
there.
it just, it's the 2 points that you've got?
3 points. 3, and I don't do that very clearly, so I'm going to probably bold it or something.
I see a 1 and a 2, that's why I asked.
And then 3 and 4 is at the last sentence of that paragraph.
Oh,
See 3
okay.
and 4. I'm gonna bold it. So
Okay.
it looks more clear.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
How's that sound?
Yeah,
Great.
that makes sense.
Do you want to?
Joe's first application to the zoning board ever.
Wow.
He's never gonna.
Okay, so do we have a motion to adopt the ZBA report?
Motion?
Motion by Gloria, second by Tom. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes.
Claire, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Bridgehampton Target,
They didn't submit it, so it's off the agenda. Yep.
and what about West Hampton Activity Center?
Oh, that's these ones.
Okay, is that, both of those big ones are at West Hampton?
They're both West Hampton.
Okay, thank you.
That's the last one.
Okay.
And then it's just real quick on the signatures. We have the signed plans, everything that's on the agenda, plus I had Ashley Caprera.
Well, no, that is not correct. Because we don't have we don't have Bridgehampton Target.
So Bridgehampton Target,
Was
Off the agenda.
Pardon?
That's off the agenda.
Is off the agenda.
Yeah.
So I signed Shinnecock Fishing Dock, North Sea Park, and Ashley Caparo.
2324.
And
Ashley-
Ashley Caparo is a
Ashley-
walk-on.
Ashley Caparo, which is a walk-on for signatures.
And I will.
Kristen, did you pick that up?
She's good.
Yeah, did you pick that up? We're doing signed plans. We need to walk on Ashley Caparo, sign, yeah, you got that right.
And I will sign West Hampton Activity Center before the
Okay,
6
that's gonna be
o'clock
signed,
meeting.
we're
I just-
acknowledging
I
that.
ran out of time.
Oh.
Very good job.
Okay, very good.
Make a motion?
Motion to adjourn by Tom, second by Kate. See you at 6. Should be a quick
We
one.
didn't vote.
I voted. All in favor? Aye.
Mike's off.